Vice President J.D. Vance meets Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in an attempt to maintain positive momentum.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. He mentioned dead hostages. Hamas did turn over the 13th body of the 28 it's supposed to return as part of the peace deal. It's day 21 of the government shutdown, and another vote in the Senate had failed to end the stalemate over funding.
House Speaker Mike Johnson slamming Democrats.
It is the same bill that they themselves supported just 7 months ago, and Chuck Schumer gave impassioned speeches on the floor about how it was the only option.
Democrats want the extension of health care subsidies, which are set to expire, to be included in a spending bill.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Later today, President Trump will have lunch with senators, but only Republicans, who are now pushing a bill to pay essential federal employees who keep working without checks. A win for the president. Senate appeals court in his push to send National Guard troops to Oregon to deal with anti-ICE immigration raid protests.
The majority writes that the president lawfully exercised his authority, which, quote, authorizes the federalization of the National Guard when the president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States.
Fox's David Spun. The judge's order still blocks the deployment of the troops. They're happy north of the border.
High fly ball, left field.
George Springer's home run powered Toronto into the World Series, giving the Blue Jays the lead they held on to, beating the Seattle Mariners 4-3 in a Game 7 on Fox to win the American League Championship. Toronto will play the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series that starts Friday. America's listening to Fox News.
Fox News Audio presents Blood Mountain. Deep in the forests of Georgia, one hike turned into a nightmare.
Calculated, savage, homicidal maniac.
One woman's disappearance sent shockwaves across the nation. The ensuing search for a suspect revealed something more sinister. A serial killer was on the loose.
The more we heard about it, the worse it got.
The Blood Mountain Podcast. Listen and follow now at foxtruecrime.com. From around the world,
Trey Yingst joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel.
To Washington.
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 5:03 and 53 degrees. The Fairview Heights, Illinois Police Department is warning residents about a potential crime scan involving someone pretending to be a utility worker and attempting to access people's homes. Recently, a resident reported to police that a man had claimed to be with Ameren and asked for permission to get inside the residence. Police say they're not clear what the motives are for trying to gain entry into the home, but they warn residents to not allow it unless by appointment or in a utility crisis. St. Louis Public School Board members Ben Conoyer has submitted his resignation after the abrupt firing of the superintendent last week and the appointment of Myra Berry as the interim superintendent on Monday. Conover said that he had deep concerns over the reckless actions of the board, and he could not continue to serve without compromising his values. Missouri Governor Mike Keogh hopes to convince Donald Trump's administration to restore a $197 million federal grant that was going to be used to build a battery company in North St. Louis. But that plant, which generates 150 new full-time jobs, the administration says the huge public grant to that Israeli-owned plant was not adequately advance the nation's energy, and it would not provide a positive return on investment. In sports, the Fall Classic is set after the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Mariners in dramatic fashion in Game 7 of the ALCS. A 3-run, 7th-inning homer by George Springer gave the Jays a 4-3 win. The World Series, Game 1 between LA and Toronto, will begin Thursday night. In hockey, 3-2 Blues back at it tonight at Enterprise. They'll host the LA Kings. It is 5:05, 53 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a little chilly going out the door this morning. Lots of sunshine throughout the day today and a breeze
to even windy at times again from the north-northwest will take control as we go through the afternoon. 66 for the high. Tonight, clear. Kind of cold, 43. In fact, it is cold. Wednesday, sunny, cool, breezy, 64. 43 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny and 66. Got some rain moving in here Friday into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Not quite as cool as we saw yesterday, but still a nice 53 degrees as you get out the door. Don't forget the Marc Cox Morning Show can be taken with you anytime, anywhere, as long as you go out and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, good morning to you. It is a Tuesday morning. I am back. Did I miss anything, Dan Buck? I'm just wondering.
Not too much. I mean, we almost went to war on Friday against Venezuela, but other than that, no, it was pretty laid back, and we tried to hold down the fort the best we could. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate you and Ryan Recker filling in the last couple of days. I had to take a little trip down to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and my daughter is considering school down there at the University of Arkansas. She got to go see the Razorbacks game on Saturday. It got rained out. It rain delayed by 2 hours.
Oh, my God.
They moved the game from 2:30 to 4:30. They finally got it in. It was dry. Arkansas almost pulled off what would have been the biggest upset Saturday if they'd beaten Texas A&M, but they lost by 3 points.
No.
At home, they were like 8-point underdogs, so it would have been a huge upset. But anyway, I digress.
And overall impression of the school? What
it was
did you
fine.
think? Yeah,
she likes it, and I mean, it's a great atmosphere to be anywhere in the SEC.
Yeah,
in my opinion, particularly on a college football weekend, that was fantastic. Of course, anytime you're on a college campus, the assorted fruits and nuts are all over the place. I'll show you some video I grabbed when I was down there with some No Kings protesters who came out a day early. There were 20 of them in like a circle on the main, just outside the student union down there, chanting "No more Kings, Trump has got to go," and all these little fancy chants they dreamed up because they're not very smart. And I so wanted to go over and engage
thought you
with them.
would. I thought you were getting ready for an engagement story.
You've
here.
had a teenager. My teenager was horrified that she was visiting the campus, and I was thinking of going over there and engaging with these morons, but I finally gave in. I didn't do it because I knew she was going to be
good.
She would have a fit.
Dad.
She would have had a fit if I'd gone over there. What I should have done, if I'd really been thinking about it, I would have worn my Freedom T-shirt onto the campus, and I wouldn't have had to say anything. I could have just stood there and smiled at them.
Yeah.
With their green hair and all
that.
Yeah,
forgot about that. That all happened while you were gone. I kind of went on a rant on Friday about the old No Kings thing. Oh, my gosh.
Is that right? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, just the hypocrisy of it, right? I mean, they're the ones who are, all about Marxism, and they're trying to elect a socialism in New York and a socialist to be the head of the biggest city in America, but yet we're the ones who want an authoritarian king. Are you kidding me?
It was a joke, and somebody said, you don't think Americans have a right to go? I'm like, I fully support their right to go out and do that.
Right.
This way, we know exactly who you are. The dumbest people in America were out on the street on Saturday in the rain here, other parts of the country. Then they had to lie about how many of them there were. Like, remember, famously, Rush Limbaugh, I'm stealing from the great one here, when he called it the 100,000 million mom march that supposedly happened when all those moms went to the Capitol and they're marching and they're in support of women's rights and blah, blah, blah. They were anti-gun and blah, blah. There were like maybe 150,000 of them, and they all called it the Million Mom March. And the mainstream media claimed there were 1 million people. There were never 1 million people. There weren't 7 million protesting. But whether it was 1 million or 7 million, like they're lying about in the mainstream media, it doesn't matter. These are not a single person in that crowd voted for Donald Trump to begin with. Not a single one. Go out, have a protest, have a drop and flop. I don't care. You're just angry you lost power. Period. Donald Trump is not a king. He's working his butt off for this country, just like he said on this weekend when they asked him about it. I'm not a king. I'm working my tail off to try to make America better, and you're losing your freaking minds.
And a nation voted him in on the exact agenda items that he's executing. It's not like he's thrown us some surprises. No, he told us, and guess what? He also won every swing state and got a mandate from the American people that's what they voted for, and that's what they wanted.
It was their first real chance to go out and throw a tantrum since they lost a year ago. The real No Kings protest was a year ago in November, right?
That was your chance.
It's coming up.
Yep, there you go.
It's coming up. I support that one. But anyway, glad to be back. We've got some good stuff for you this morning. We're going to talk to Todd Piro a little later, host of Fox and Friends First. Mark Walters for 2A Tuesday. Ryan Wiggins in just a little bit later. We'll talk more about importantly, and I think it probably didn't get covered enough, what the president did this weekend with that Australian prime minister was in town. Suddenly, the Australians are a little crazy when it comes to things like guns and all that, but they are it's a key area for us in the battle against China, the ongoing struggle against China to control some of the world's resources and minerals and all that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that next hour. We'll get to Dan's segment here at the bottom of the hour. First, though, let's get to our top stories, Ethan.
Actually,
please.
Mark, first. Today is a very special day for somebody in the studio.
Oh, you didn't do it. No, you didn't.
How did I not know
Dan
that?
Buck turns 35 today.
Tried to
35?
Yeah, I tried to sneak it by without you all noticing. But obviously, Ethan must be reading Facebook or something. There you go.
How did I not know that? Happy birthday, dude.
Well, thank you.
We'll have to have some desk bourbon before the morning is over.
There we go.
Salute Dan Buck's big day today.
Yeah.
Any big plans, Dan?
Probably go to dinner. Got a pickleball match tonight, which is something I love to do.
Yeah.
So, play a little pickleball, have a little dinner with the wife. Yeah.
Well, good.
Pretty low key. I try to let these things go by unnoticed. That's the key.
Thanks, Ethan. He's staring at Ethan right now. I had no idea. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That is fantastic.
And
all right.
on to the short list.
Now let's get to the short list.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
The president uses social media to make a point. You can argue he's probably the most effective person who's ever used social media for that. He is using satire to make a point. He is not calling for the murder of his political opponents.
No, he's not. The left meltdown over the video that Trump shared of him flying the plane and dropping poop on the protesters. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. It's clearly not something we've seen before from the White House. In general, clearly recently we've seen more of it. But where's your sense of humor? He wasn't dropping bombs on them. He didn't do anything to stop them from protesting. He was just commenting on their load of crap.
Well, the name of No Kings was kind of ridiculous. We don't have a king, as the president said, and if we did, it's not clear that protests like the No Kings rally would be permitted.
Thank you. Britt Hume bringing some truth over on Fox. He's not on there as much as I'd like these days, but he absolutely dropped a little bit of a truth bomb on him yesterday. This wouldn't have been permitted if we actually had a king.
The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
How about that? Harry Enton. When CNN says you've won the day, the Democrats might as well fold up their tents and go home.
You got to grab a gun. We got to turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents got to get shot and wiped out.
Yep, there you have it. That just one of the nut jobs out there this weekend. That guy was in New York somewhere. Ends up he's a professor at City College or something like that in New York. Last I checked, he still had his job. I haven't seen that he's been fired.
No, and the video has on his X account has something like 150,000 likes.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, really?
About people taking up. Is this the side that doesn't like guns?
Oh, yeah. But it's okay to threaten physical harm to law enforcement agents.
Yeah, apparently.
What in the world's going on?
Apparently it is. And, there was also the video of the woman famously pointing to her neck like she was going to shoot. Find out she's an elementary school teacher in Chicago somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Not a peep out of the school district yet as to what's going to happen. How could you have a person like that instructing your children? So these are just a few examples of where when people tell you who they are, you need to pay attention. We know who these two are because they were dumb enough to do it on video, and
Everything's on video.
I hope there are some consequences to their actions.
Everything's on video. I mean, what don't they understand? They are out in a public place. There's video everywhere.
I don't know. Dan, did you see the Rennie Knott story?
I did see that. I saw you sent that
STL
over
Mag?
this morning.
I
Yep.
don't know if you read this or not. We're going to talk more about our friend Rennie Knott. Some more truth is coming out about what they did to railroad that man out of Channel 5, and it's really obnoxious. But if you don't think the woke is still in charge of local media, you're dead wrong, because I think that's exactly what happened to Rennie Knott. We're going to talk more about it in just a couple of minutes. Right now, let's get to our national anthem.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We look good on the roads this morning. There was an accident earlier, and it was eastbound 270 at New Florissant in the right lanes, but it looks like that has been picked up. And eastbound 70 and 64 both look good from out west into downtown, and we're quiet on the Illinois side. Not a lot happening over there either, so a good start to the day. I'll keep you posted. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
All right, I'll bet when that rain was beating down over the weekend, you were happy that your windows were working properly. You probably had an opportunity to maybe air the house out with this cooler weather we're enjoying right now. You'll notice when you need to replace them. You'll see moisture between the panes of glass. That means you've got a seal broken. Maybe the string doesn't work anymore as you're trying to raise the window, or you can just tell that it's just not fitting right in the frame anymore. That's a sign it's time for new windows. And when that happens, I want you to call Window World. I've been recommending them for years. I am a customer, and I hope you'll give them a ring. They will come out and give you a free estimate. This is not one of those high-pressure deals either. They're going to show you their great products, their windows, their front doors, their rear entry doors. You need a new sliding glass door for your patio or your basement, call Window World. Look at what they've got. You're starting with the very best price in town. 314-993-1800. Again, 993-1800. Get somebody to your house to give you a free estimate, preferred window of our St. Louis Blues, and they're offering great finance rates, 18 to 36 months, interest-free right now if you qualify. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. It's windowworldstlouis.com.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
In the 70s, while still putting up Hall of Fame numbers, local baseball legend Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
And our area's never been the same. This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, and Electrical.
So from now on, when you need an electrical solution or fix at your home, get it done fast, good, by a Hall of Fame company that's got it going on.
JerryKelly.com. Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Tune in to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Live, local, and conservative. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
Let me give a shout out. First of all, Dan Buck will appreciate this on his birthday. I just have to say.
Okay.
It's a sports related story. So yesterday I get invited out to watch the district championship game between the Lady Lafayette Lancers softball team and the Eureka Wildcats softball team.
Oh, I bet it was a good game.
So they played for the district championship, and Eureka had a come from behind win. They were down 4-1 at one point, maybe 5-1, and they ended up winning, I think, 6-5.
Wow.
So where they came back in the last inning and they won it, and it was a fantastic game. And congratulations to both of them. We happened to know people on both sides of that because our older kids went to Lafayette. But the main reason we were there is that the coach for Eureka is a friend of ours. He's the dad of one of my daughter's friends. And congratulations to Coach Mark Mosley. Yesterday marked his 300th victory as a coach.
Wow.
And to my understanding, that sets the record for a coach in terms of wins at Eureka, like for the sports down there. Like,
that's fantastic.
As one coach to have been there, like 16 years he's been coaching. So congratulations to him.
It's a shame those two programs are in the same district, too, because I umpire a lot. And, in girls softball, I'm a high school certified umpire, and those two programs deserve to be probably at a state championship against each other. Because some of the districts are just super weak. I mean, they don't really divide them up by any logical means. They should not have three powerhouses out of that. I think there's actually four powerhouses in that district that all could probably go win a district somewhere else. But It is what it is. They geographically kind of pin these schools together.
Yes,
and that Rockwood School District is just loaded with talent.
Yeah,
So,
I would agree. But congratulations to the Eureka Wildcats and their coach for a big victory yesterday. Let's talk about our friend Rennie Knott for a minute. So we covered this story last week. He's going to come into work one day, and they just called him and said, "Don't bother coming in. Come in and go straight to HR," something like that.
Yeah.
And they pull him off the air and. First, nobody's talking about it. And I'm thinking something had to have happened. This is really weird.
not just
right?
contract talks.
No,
right?
no. And then rumors started flying. And now finally, of all things, St. Louis Magazine is the one that comes out with more details on what allegedly happened over there. And again, it's this woke culture where, and Dan, there was a time in a TV newsroom or a print journalism newsroom where before it all turned PC, it was real. You were working, you were under stress, you were dropping F-bombs probably. You could joke with your friends or coworkers without risk of somebody running to HR because their feelings got hurt. And this is across corporate America, I would imagine these days, but particularly in the news media, you knew it was coming. And I think that's exactly what happened to Rennie. And reading this story, somebody went and complained that he made a joke one time, "I better go get an AK-47. The man doesn't even own a gun. I've met Rennie Knott 2 or 3 times in my working career, traveled to Washington, D.C. with him one time for the Stan Musial Medal of Freedom Award years ago when I was at 4 and he was at 5. I know nothing about his politics. Now, I'm not commenting on his politics. I have no idea what his politics are. But he states in this article that he doesn't own a gun. But his comment about an AK-47 made some of his fellow employees uncomfortable. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
What about that hurt you? Show us on the doll where Rennie's words hurt you. They thought he was... He said he made a comment one time about, as a former college athlete, concerned about CTE, on the brain injuries that could come from multiple concussions. And they took that to mean that he thought he couldn't control his emotions. I mean,
somebody said,
kidding me?
It was signs that he may be about to break or something. This guy's worked there for 21 years. There's just been so much turnover. I mean, and not just the front of the house, but there's been a lot of producers and news directors and people behind the scene turnover. And whenever you get new people in who don't know you, don't know your sense of humor, don't know, kind of how you operate, and maybe that's the case here. Maybe people around him were just, new to his form of humor, his joking, and they took it the wrong way.
And he suggested that. So here's the other thing. 21 years. Never one single time was he called into HR.
Ever.
And because of a couple of complaints, they fired him. They didn't just put a letter in his folder or something. They fired him from his job.
Yeah.
Because of a couple of snowflakes at News Channel 5. That's got to be what this comes down to.
Who's his co-anchor?
I'd love to get him on here.
In the
Michelle
morning.
Lee, I think is her name. Is that it?
Well,
I don't know anything about her.
She's a victim mindset,
Woo!
too.
Uh-oh. There we go.
There we go.
All right, back with Dan's segment after the break. Stay tuned.
Heidi Ricken Provost of Ricken Financial understands the importance of financial stability in your retirement plans.
If there's something we can do to help benefit your financial future and provide more strength and stability in your retirement plan, that's exactly what we do here. And we do so on a complimentary basis.
Call today, 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
All right, you have an opportunity at the Range St. Louis West to win a free class, and I'm telling you, there's nobody in town doing what the Range does when it comes to training. period. If you have any interest in firearms and learning more about them and getting better at it, maybe just in self-defense, go to the range. Check out their selection of classes. Right now, they're going to give you an opportunity, because you're listening to this broadcast, to win a free basic handgun skills class. It's ideal for beginners. It's ideal for people that have been around guns for 40 years like I have. I sat through the class myself. It's 5 hours long. It's awesome. Vinny did a great job. There were people in there who'd never touched a gun before. And by the end of the class, they were downstairs on the range firing a gun for the first time. It's available in a women's only class if you're more comfortable with that, with a female instructor. Sign up today, therangestl.com/971 to win a free basic handgun skills class, therangestl.com/971.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
It's a busy day for earnings news. General Motors, Coca-Cola, 3M, Capital One Financial, and defense contractors Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman report today. Netflix reports after the Wall Street close. Ken Leon, director of research at CFRA, says earnings have been holding up.
We got the government shutdown, we got the Fed cutting rates later this month, and we got more market volatility. But the whole theme of this market is these companies reporting, earning their valuation, because prices for many of these stocks are pretty high. But so far in the first week, we saw outsized revenue and earnings beats.
Investment firm Starboard Value, which now owns 9% of TripAdvisor, is expected today to outline changes it wants to see at the travel app. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Rising debt, stock market swings, and global shocks can affect your retirement. But even in this economy, there's still opportunity. Protect your retirement with a secure, tax-advantaged gold IRA. Instead of leaving a 401k or IRA at the mercy of markets, hold physical gold or silver. Real protection for your future. And Noble Gold makes it simple. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The conversation is free, and the peace of mind is priceless. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. We do have a slowdown on westbound 70, and it's out past Wentzville Parkway. It's all due to road work. So just west of Wentzville Parkway through about David Hochul Parkway, there is a delay, and it's just due to road work. They've got the right lane down. So that's causing a slowdown, but that's it for this hour. Eastbound 70 looks fine. No delays on eastbound 64. And we're quiet on the Illinois side as well. This report brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So it's not every day you buy flooring, but when you do, my friend Mike Reynolds has a request. Just stop by a store and take a look and let the folks at Michael's show you what they do best, which is customer service, in my opinion. Mike's been around coming up on, it's going to be 30 years soon. I know that. 3 stores, and he loves the flooring business. He is still in those stores. I see him up there when I've gone shopping last year for my flooring. He loves what he does, and I think that reflects itself in his employees. They're great. They're always calling you to see what else they can do. Once the flooring is installed, they're always there saying, hey, how did it go? Is there anything we can improve on? That word of mouth brings people back. So whatever you're looking for, whether it's some new hardwood, which is what we ended up with, or you want some of that waterproof flooring that Mohawk is so famous for, the Revwood Select. It looks like beautiful hardwood planks, but it's impervious to water. Ask them about that and go visit them. They'll even bring you a sample to your house. You can go on the website and request it and set an appointment. They'll show up at your house with whatever you ask them to and show you the samples in the convenience of your own home. They're in Old Town St. Peter's, store number 1. They're in West County, and of course they're in Darding Prairie. Go online anytime to igotfloor.com.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
From Hillsboro to Highland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Buck don't give a f***.
Today on Truth Bomb Tuesday, we've got a special segment for all of those libtards who love to vilify the Jewish people and the nation of Israel for their so-called genocide. We always hear them saying, oh, it's the poor Palestinians. But this social media warrior who is out there just clearly addresses the issue for all these Jew haters. And, of course, they don't like to hold Muslim nations accountable around the globe to the same tough standard. Today's social media warrior is actually a woman who goes by the name of Magenta on Facebook. And she is unapologetically dropping truth bombs every day about the evil and the violence that's being perpetrated by Muslims on those who promote a globalist agenda and hate the independent attitude of Israel and the U.S. Here she is, Magenta, on her Facebook post.
They say Israel was committing genocide, yet the population in Gaza has grown by millions since 1948, and there were 95,000 babies born in Gaza in the last 2 years during the war. And in fact, there are 10 real genocides happening right now in Darfur, Sudan, Myanmar, Congo, Tigray, and Nigeria, involving Muslim or Arab forces attacking minorities. They say Israel controls the world, yet there are 57 Muslim-majority countries voting as a bloc at the United Nations. The OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, holds diplomatic global power and condemn Israel constantly. Islamic financial groups like the WIF, World Economic Islamic Forum, are also integrated into the WEF and G20 economies. They say Israel are occupiers. Meanwhile, Turkey occupies northern Cyprus, Morocco occupies Western Sahara, and Pakistan controls parts of Kashmir, yet none of these Islamic countries face comparable international outrage. They say Israel is apartheid, but Arab citizens of Israel vote, serve in parliament, and attend the same universities and hospitals as Jews.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Jews are banned from living in or visiting certain Muslim countries. They say Jews control the media, yet in reality, Qatar's Al Jazeera, Saudi-owned NBC, Turkey's TRT World, and Iran's Press TV reach billions with pro-Islamic narratives across global networks. They say Israel is the cause of all wars. Over 90% of global conflicts have occurred in Asia and Africa, mostly involving internal Muslim-majority disputes. The civil wars in Syria, Yemen, Sudan, and Libya have killed millions, all driven by Muslim factions, not Israel.
Wow.
Whatever you are accusing Jews and their only state of, you are guilty of. Hey world, especially the Muslim world, Learn to look into the mirror for once instead of trying to blame the Jews for all of your shortcomings.
Is that not spot on the money?
I love it.
And the reason we do this segment is because those are facts and figures and data you will never hear the mainstream media talk about. That 58 nations in the world, including many that are in the United Nations, are Muslim-controlled, Muslim-led right now. When she talked about there being 10 other genocides actively going on.
Oh, sure.
And Nigeria being the one that is most prevalent that people are ignoring, where 7,000 Christians have been murdered and slaughtered this year simply because of their faith. That's just this year alone, more than 52,000 over the past decade, and people just ignore that fact. And anyway, good for her. If you want to follow her on Facebook, Magenta, Magenta. I think she's also out there on X. You can find her. She is doesn't use her real name, and that's probably for her own protection. But she is totally exposing.
Oh, can you imagine? I mean, they'd probably put a price on her head.
Yeah, she's got over 300,000 followers and millions of views. So people are paying attention, and hopefully you'll go out there and follow her and show her the support too. So she gets a larger platform. More people hearing her, the better.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm glad to see that that she's putting out some of these truth bombs on people. Because you're never. When is the last time you watched mainstream media coverage of what's happened there and saw any of that being reported?
Right.
None of that gets reported. And I'm watching with a former employee from down the hall here, who's not in the business anymore, Doug, reporting yesterday gleefully on his Facebook page that it appears the ceasefire's not holding in the Middle East. So the people with TDS on this issue and who clearly are upset with Israel for whatever reason are hoping for the failure of this ceasefire. These are the same people who are protesting in the streets to save Hamas or to save the Palestinians, but they're actively rooting against this peace process holding because they want it to damage Donald Trump. They want it to fail so Trump cannot have a success in that region. And that's the only reason.
They can't bring themselves either to condemn Hamas in any shape or form. If you notice that, these cockroaches crawled out of their hole with rocket launchers in the middle of a ceasefire and lobbed these rockets over the border and struck Israeli forces.
Right.
And what do they expect Israel to do? Nothing? Just to not go take those people out who just sent a missile their way? I mean, of course they are. And then immediately put the ceasefire back when they knew they took out the bunker where these cockroaches crawled out of.
I think the biggest concern has been from the beginning, even if Hamas leadership agreed to this deal, there may be holdouts or factions within them that didn't agree to it, and they would be the problem. Here you had two jerks come up out of a tunnel with RPGs and kill two IDF soldiers the other day who were on an excavator. They were working to excavate an area. For all I know, they were looking for remains of some of the hostages, and they got blown up by these terrorists. Of course the IDF is going to respond to that. But those are individual situations. You don't have mainstream bombing anymore. The ceasefire continues to hold. But when I see people like that on the left, hoping it doesn't, just on the outside chance it could damage or take some success away from Donald Trump, I just have to shake my head.
Yeah.
Do you hate your country that much that you root for the failure of something this huge because it might reflect well on your political enemy, your sworn political enemy, Orange Man Bad? I mean, honestly.
And do they really want peace in the Middle East? Do
Apparently
they really
not.
want peace in Palestine? Because it doesn't appear they do. It's like, oh, look. See, look, the war's still going. He didn't stop anything. It's like, no, because of some rogue actors, there was a skirmish, and it was thwarted, and the ceasefire's back in existence.
I do not know his particular take on the Israel-Palestine situation. I don't know which side he comes down on there, but that comment just, I'm like, oh, really? Like, a day after bragging and lying about how many people were in the streets for the No Kings protest, you have to gloat over a couple of people, Jewish soldiers dying as some sort of proof that what Donald Trump's trying to do there is going to fail. I don't think it's going to fail because I think he smartly brought the Arab world on board first before he tried this. So they'll be keeping pressure on this as well, which is not a situation that we've had before at all. All right, great job, Dan. Coming up, the court. This time we used to call it the Ninth Circus Court of Appeals. It has turned a bit. In the first Trump administration, he had a lot to do with putting some common sense on that court. They've now ruled in his favor in Portland with the National Guard. We're going to talk about that and more coming up. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. We look good on the commute so far today. In fact, we had some construction delays westbound 70 out by David Hochul Parkway. Well, they've picked that up, and traffic is moving fine. So eastbound 70 in good shape, 64, 44, all look good from out west into the city. We're quiet through North County and quiet on the Illinois side as well if you happen to be headed in on the bridges downtown or just driving on the Illinois side in general. So far, so good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, you lived through the storms. You know whether or not there was any hail at your house when all that came rumbling through St. Louis on Saturday. If you have any doubts, you got to call my friend Curtis Carell because he's the honest broker you want to deal with when it comes to your roof. Put a new roof on my house. I had him out the day of the storm back in the spring, and he immediately could see the damage up there. He went to my daughter's house a mile and a half away and told her she did not have any damage. He's going to be honest with you, and that's what you've got to find right now. And somebody who's not just out driving around trying to get work. That's not what you need. And let me give you Curtis's phone number. So you call him up, tell him you heard Mark bragging about him. I know him personally. He's a veteran. He's a family man. He's honest. And that's what you need on your roof. 314-222-9529. 314-222-9529. Whatever you have on your roof, whatever kind of shingles you have, if you're upgrading to slate or architectural shingles or metal roofs, he can handle all of it. And they've been at it for over 20 years. 314-222-9529. Online right now at Corel, that's 2 R's, 2 L's, CorelRoofingCo.com.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk in St. Louis for 25 years this month. Thanks for being a part of a quarter century of engaging local talk. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-234-0633. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now, 800-234-0633.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-234-0633. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-234-0633, or go to oxcarcare.com.
Some days life just doesn't slow down. Trust me, I know about this. That's why Ruler Foods offers home delivery. With Ruler Foods delivery, you're going to get all your favorite Super Saver deals like fresh produce, pantry staples, and household essentials brought directly to your door. So whether you're stretched thin on time or you just need a little extra help, Ruler Foods delivery is here for you. Visit rulerfoods.com and click on delivery to start your order today. Shop smart, spend less, save more with Ruler Foods delivery. rulerfoods.com.
Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair,
Then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, sorry about that. I was trying to get something to play here, and it did not play on time. I do apologize. Did you guys have any internet outages yesterday?
Over the weekend, the weekend. It was not necessarily our internet, but our access to several of the pages. Our Ring doorbell wasn't working, a few other things, and that was all related to the Amazon. They're not calling it a hack. They're calling it a disruption of service. I don't know exactly what happened, but it impacted a bunch of platforms.
Well, I got an indication overnight that my Ring camera had gone offline and back on. We didn't lose power, which struck me as kind of odd because I don't get that notification very often. But it begs the question is, how much does Amazon actually control? And when you think about it, it's kind of mind-numbing that if they were ever hacked by the Chinese or whoever and that system went down, think of all of the things in your life that would be impacted by it.
Couldn't shop online.
Well, not just that, but Amazon Prime, how am I going to get my stuff shipped to me? My wife would be in a deep depression. Listen to this report on how widespread this thing was and how many different platforms it impacted.
Amazon Web Services, which hosts cloud-based computing for various app platforms, gaming, and storage, created problems for clients and users due to outages caused by internal problems at the internet giant's systems. Office apps such as Zoom and Salesforce had disruptions, just to name a few. So had social media service Snapchat, online games like Roblox and Fortnite, graphic design app Canva, and mobile payment platform Venmo, and crypto exchange Coinbase.
Wow. Like that's broad.
That is broad.
You've hit crypto, you've hit people's ability to use Canva, you've just right down the line. Not just shopping on Amazon Prime Day.
And they've been mysterious about actually what happened.
Of course they have.
They haven't really come out and said this is what it was, or we had a backup server crash during whatever. I mean, just explain it a little more than they have to give us all a little comfort that it wasn't a foreign hack,
Well, they're all intentionally vague about that when it happens because they don't want to admit to it. But many times they've been held hostage. Could you imagine what the bill would be if a service like that got hacked and
what the ransom would be?
The ransom cost would be,
man.
and many times they have no choice but to pay it. And we listen to the folks that know how to fix these things, and they will tell you you've got to have parallel systems, you've got to have backups, so your stuff's always in two different places, and you can always recover what you've got over here. And if they've locked you out of this, your client stuff is over here. But if they've got your client stuff and they're threatening to release it, that's where the ransom part of it gets in. It's not just about getting your operation up and running. It's you're about to be embarrassed with private information out on the web.
The redundancy of the redundancy. They have security to back the security that actually secures the system. I mean, they constantly are at war with these ransom hacks who go out there just for the sake of trying to sabotage so they can hold companies ransom, right? And basically hold them hostage, which I'm still amazed people continue to pay those. But like you said, they're at a point where they really they can't. They have no choice.
They don't have a choice.
Or they're going to stay dead in the water. So
speaking of being held for ransom, the court has been basically doing that with the Trump administration.
Yeah.
I don't know how in the world they managed to do this. The one lady was a Trump-appointed judge in Portland trying to look at attempts to burn the building, to tear down the fences, to do all these other things, and to look into the camera and basically say, oh, you haven't proven that you need extra security there. You need to, I'm going to ban you from using federal troops. It was a joke. The appeals court there, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, voted 2-1 to lift that temporary restraining order, saying the president can indeed send the troops in, but for now, at least, he can't deploy them. How can you stop the president from defending federal employees? That's the only reason that the National Guard troops are there. They've yet to be used for rounding people up or arresting people or doing any of that stuff. They stand a perimeter around federal buildings to keep Antifa and the crazed protesters in Portland from burning them to the ground. I'm mystified by it. I don't understand what their logic is, but apparently he's still restricted from deploying the troops until this case works its way through court. And again, we're talking about several hundred California National Guard troops who were deployed to Portland to circumvent the judge's order blocking the Oregon National Guard troops deployment. They can't keep up with him, Dan. They don't know what to do with Trump. He's outsmarted them at every single way, and we're going to get to this coming up in the next hour. I promise you. There's new polling out that shows this government shutdown hasn't impacted Donald Trump's ratings at all. Number one, he's not getting blamed for it. Number two, which he shouldn't. Number three, if you listen to a report that was on the show prior to us this morning, he's very wisely used this shutdown in ways to try to figure out how to help people instead of hurt them. And when Obama shut the government down, he went out of his way to find ways to hurt people so they would complain to their legislators. Donald Trump's handled this very differently so far. Whereas if it's not your paycheck not making it on the 15th or the 30th, you might not have noticed yet. Women and infants, children programs being paid. They're handling this very smartly as this thing stretches into its third week now. 21 days the government's been shut down. All right, we'll get to all that and more coming up in the next hour. Stay tuned.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
We
without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Trying to keep the ceasefire in Gaza in place. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's Vice President Vance's goal, arriving in Israel a short time ago for talks following a flare-up of fighting over the weekend. And Hamas has still yet to turn over 15 dead hostages, but Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv reports one more has been returned.
The body of one additional hostage was transferred to Israeli forces within the enclave, and it will soon be identified. So many families still waiting for answers in the aftermath of this ceasefire that was broken by Hamas over the weekend when they killed 2 Israeli soldiers.
Israel retaliated with strikes targeting Hamas and also left dozens of Palestinians dead. A mass shooting might have been averted at Atlanta's airport. Fox's Todd Piro has details.
Officers say they were tipped off by the family of 49-year-old Billy Cagle, a convicted felon with quote-unquote mental challenges. The family telling police that he said on a social media live stream that he intended to shoot up the airport and he had access to a firearm. Cagle was seen arriving at the airport in a white pickup truck and was waiting inside the Delta Airlines terminal for about 20 minutes.
That's when he was arrested. A loaded semi-automatic rifle said to be found in his truck. For a 21st day, the government shut down with no end to the stalemate over funding, so most federal employees aren't working. Those deemed essential are, but without checks.
President Trump is expected to thank Republicans today for staying united in the shutdown fight. They've been trying to squeeze Democrats. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he wants to vote on a bill to pay essential workers, and he's daring Democrats to vote against it.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Baseball's World Series is set. George Springer's home run led Toronto to the American League pennant, giving the Blue Jays a lead they held on to beat the Seattle Mariners 4-3 in a Game 7 on Fox. Toronto will next play the defending champion LA Dodgers. The World Series starts Friday. America's listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. VapoCool.
497.1 FM Talk. I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:03 and 51 degrees. The Fairview Heights Police Department in Illinois is warning residents about a potential crime scan involving someone pretending to be a utility worker and attempting to access people's homes. Recently, a resident reported to police that a man claimed to be with Ameren and had asked permission to enter the residence. Police do not know what the motives are for trying to gain entry, but warn people to not allow entry unless by appointment. St. Louis Public School Board member Ben Conover is submitting his resignation after the abrupt firing of the superintendent last week and the appointment of Myra Berry as the interim superintendent yesterday. Conover is saying that he has deep concerns over the reckless actions of the board and he could not continue to serve without compromising his values. Missouri Governor Mike Keogh hopes to convince the Trump administration to restore a $197 million federal grant that was going to be used to build a battery component factory in North St. Louis. While the plant would generate 150 new full-time jobs, the administration says the huge public grant to an Israeli-owned company would not adequately advance the nation's energy needs, nor would it provide a positive return on investment. In sports, the Fall Classic is set. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Mariners in dramatic fashion in Game 7 of the ALCS. A 3-run, seventh-inning homer by George Springer gave the Jays a 4-3 win. The World Series Game 1 between L.A. and Toronto will begin Thursday night. In hockey, the 3-2 Blues get back at it tonight at Enterprise. They play host to the L.A. Kings. It is 6:05. We've got 51 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got some flashing lights on northbound 270 north of 44. It was a stall on the right-hand side. It's mostly on the shoulder, but of course it's dark and flashing lights always catch people's attention, so we've got a little bit of a slowdown there. But that's it. Eastbound 70, 64, 40, and 44 all looking good. Out west into downtown, 55 is in good shape. We're quiet on the bridges and quiet through North County. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Furnace funky?
Then make one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a little chilly going out the door this morning. Lots of sunshine throughout the day today, and a breeze to even windy at times again from the north-northwest will take control as we go through the afternoon. 66 for the high. Tonight, clear. Kind of cold, 43. In fact, it is cold. Wednesday, sunny, cool, breezy, 64. 43 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny and 66. Got some rain moving in here Friday into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thanks, Dave. 51 degrees as you get out the door on your Tuesday. Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere. Just go out and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good morning to you. Welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show. It's Mark. I'm back. It is a Tuesday. We're happy that you joined us this morning. Got Dan Buck in here, Ethan Bright. We'll get to Sue Thomas with your traffic here in just a couple of minutes. And you can always download the podcast. And great to be back. And today we are celebrating the birthday of one Daniel Buck. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Don't feel a day older than I am.
That's good.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? That's what it's all about. It's that attitude, right? You're still out there on the ball field.
I still play a little baseball, a little pickleball. I got a game tonight, in fact. So mixed doubles.
So how long does that take? So you just is that one game, or if you win, you play somebody else?
Two
or
matches. So
okay.
it's best 2 out of 3, and then you play 2 matches a night in league.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I'll be in Florida playing baseball when the tournament goes on. So I play all league long, but we had one rain out, so I will miss playoffs. So I have to get a sub while I'm in Florida.
Nice. When is your Florida?
I'll be gone the 2nd through the 9th. They're going to miss me for a whole
week.
We
are. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So unless you want me to report from my
Poolside,
oceanside down there. Yeah, that's right.
We would not ask you to do that, young man.
Nor would I.
No, nor would you. That's good.
That's right.
Because you wouldn't have to be up quite as early if you're in Florida.
Yeah, I'd be an hour ahead. Yeah, exactly.
So come on, Dan.
So I'd get to wake up at 4, not 3. What a great deal.
I know. It's true. Very true. All right, coming up, we're going to get to Drew Horn here in a few minutes. He used to work in the Trump administration. We're going to talk about that pretty amazing news conference yesterday with the Australian Prime Minister. People say, why do we care about Australia? Well, other than loving to listen to their accents, they've got some pretty key minerals down there that we're kind of interested in, and stuff we don't want China to necessarily get their hands on, or if we can supplement the stuff we get from China, then we're not quite so beholden to them. So that's kind of a big deal. We'll get to him coming up here at about 6:22. We've still got Todd Piro of Fox and Friends first. We'll talk to our friend Mark Walters. I don't know if you saw this or not. Dan was showing it to me a minute ago. These crazy protesters this weekend, one of them threw a knife at ICE.
Yeah.
Must have had a 7-inch blade on it.
It was a 7-inch major, carving knife, and with a big point on it. I mean, people say, oh, they're not violent. This is all overkill by the Trump administration. And, dude, they threw a 7-inch knife at ICE officials after wielding it. They were literally taking swipes at him first, and then as they began to attack him, he threw it and hit one of the officers with the blade. It did not penetrate because of the armor.
Did the guy get taken down?
Oh,
whoever threw it?
Yeah, they took him down pretty hard.
The scary thing these days is you see things like that, and this AI stuff is everywhere. So much so that you have to question just about every video you see these days. It's that bad. Like I saw a video yesterday of children taking a baseball bat and swinging it, or a knife or something at an effigy of Donald Trump being held up on a stick. It looked bad, but I have no way of knowing if it actually happened or not. I mean, how do you tell? I think we need to get somebody on here maybe to talk about that. How do you tell? Yesterday I sent a video to my family members, my brother-in-law, my son, a few others, of a woman sitting on a toilet. And a deer came crashing through the window over her head and knocked her off the toilet and jumped around in the bathroom, and then the video was over. And I was pretty fascinated by it, and I sent it to them because they're all deer hunters, and they're like, oh, that's AI. You boomers, you got to quit falling for that, my son says. How do you tell that's AI?
Usually you just got to look for the non-natural reactions that the AI hasn't figured out. Like there was one that had a deer come through the front door and people sitting in the living room. Well, the dude sitting closest to the door barely moves.
You think,
right?
yeah.
A couple other people jump up, but the guy who the deer almost plows into just kind of
maybe he's
laid back. I'm like, that's total AI.
Yeah.
Because that guy would be freaking out if that thing came through. And sometimes, if you've seen where the little dogs fight off the big bears, and stuff, that's all AI. Yeah, that's it's the new thing. They put their dog. Well, and they get their dog in those scenarios. So it's a funny thing. Show a bear coming up on this picture, this porch, with this dog chasing after it and chasing it off. And that's how you make the AI video.
It's really hard to tell. Now, the one I did see that I know was real was the one with Trump piloting a plane and dropping poop on protesters.
Oh, that
had
was
to be
so
real.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And he reposted that. People think the White House is generating
producing this stuff.
Yeah, no, it was generated. He just thought it was funny.
Well, they have no sense of humor,
and that
he owns
sissy
them.
guy. Did you see? He was one of the guys that got dropped on. Sisson.
Sisson.
Is that his name? Yeah, he's one of the liberal bloggers out there, and he was the first guy that the giant thing of poop landed on. And I didn't pick it up the first time, but he went out there and he's demanding an apology from the White House for having poop dropped on him in the AI video. I'm like, dude,
that's the most. That's the most famous he's ever going to be, is in that moment.
Exactly.
And Donald Trump now owns real estate in his head.
Yeah, what is his first name? I forget. I don't follow him because he's so annoying. But
yes, indeed. All right, let's go ahead and get to our top stories here, Ethan. Please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
I just happen to think if I were Democrats, I would rather have directed that energy into the campaigns that are going on this year instead of marching around the way they did. But listen, you guys spend your time however you want. It's a free country, not a monarchy.
Yeah, thank you. Scott Jennings setting him straight over on CNN. King Scott. He needs to have his own crown over there because he is owning more and more of those libs on CNN every day.
Attorney General Merrick Garland decided to prosecute a former president of the United States. That's the sort of thing that happens in countries whose Powerball jackpot is 287 chickens and a goat.
Senator Kennedy, we love you.
Yeah, John Kennedy, one of a kind, but he's absolutely right. He's like, hey, Merrick Garland started all of this. You've got no room to complain here, trying to say the Trump administration, by charging former officials, is somehow breaking new ground. They're not.
Why Democrats are not standing in front of a hospital that's about to be shut down because of GOP hikes that is going to cost lives? Yeah. Why are they doing press conferences there? We should not. What we're seeing and what I hear from people, not just me, they feel as if the Democratic Party is acting as it is normal times.
Yeah, Karine Jean-Pierre, things are not normal. They're so not normal. She left the Democratic Party because it's not far left enough for her. So when will AOC and Mamdani follow? That's the question.
This lady has done such an amazing job on the Ukrainian children who were abducted by Russia. Would you support Senator Lindsey Graham's bill to declare Russia a terrorist state? And you have within your power, you're the most powerful man on earth. Why don't you just enable Ukraine to finish this war tomorrow?
Well, if you knew anything about what you were talking about, you'd be able. You do. I don't think you do.
Trump just savaged this reporter from Australia yesterday during this news conference. We're going to talk more about what was going on in the news conference in a few minutes, but it gets. Why don't you just use your powers to allow Ukraine to win? Like it would be that easy. He's like, if you knew anything you were talking about.
Powerful man in the world. Right. Well, give me a break.
Yeah, he also kind of blasted the one of the reporters in there because they were talking about the ambassadors. Apparently an ambassador for Australia who, prior to being named ambassador, used to on a daily basis savage Donald Trump on social media, like put out some really negative things about him. Well, the dude was in the room yesterday, and a reporter asked the president that question. What do you think about having an ambassador to the U.S. from Australia who said such awful things about you? And Trump called him out. What happened to him? Is he here? They're like, the prime minister goes, yes, sir, he's in the room. Where is he? Trump's looking for him in the audience. It was hilarious. I'm going to play it for you in a few minutes, and then we'll get a reaction to all this.
Why would Australia do that? Usually you get an ambassador who can relate well to the country where your embassy is, and you're trying to get good relations with that country. The whole point of having an embassy. Why would you put a Trump-bashing guy, a former
as the ambassador,
social media guy, as your new ambassador? It makes zero sense.
Wait till you hear what Trump said to him. It was pretty classic.
Awesome.
It really was. We're going to get to all that and more for you coming up. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. So far, we look pretty good on the roads, and that continues to be the case. Eastbound 70 looks great. Wright City into downtown. 64 is in good shape. Really, the only issue we have had was this stall, and it's northbound 270, just north of 44. And it's still some flashing lights, but it looks better. It looks like they had removed it off to the shoulder, and traffic is moving a little bit better through there now. That really was the only issue. So if you're just headed out the door on the Missouri or Illinois side, we look pretty good. In fact, we look very good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Let's talk about garage doors for just a minute. They're so important on days we have big storms or snow that'll be coming before you know it. You want to make sure yours is working properly. What do you do? Well, I'll tell you what. You need to call Overhead Door Company, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the one with the red ribbon, the one that's been around, coming up on 100 years, 1926. You do the math. And right now they're offering cash for your old clunker of a garage door to trade that thing in, just like Ethan did over here. Trade that in. They'll give you $200 for the first door off the cost of a new one, $100 for each additional door you have if you are lucky enough to have one of those 3-car garages. It's it's a great opportunity. I don't know how long it's going to last. They haven't told me when it ends, but you need to get your entry in now. And how do you do that? Well, you go to their website, overheaddoorstlouis.com. overheaddoorstlouis.com. Submit your entry, and maybe you will be maybe you're going to have the opportunity there to get your cash for your clunkers. Tell them you want to come over there and take advantage of all of that with our friends at Overhead Door Company. 314-781-5200. Again, 314-781-5200. overheaddoorstlouis.com.
No need to get technical on heating and cooling. We all want our houses to cool, correct? When it's heating season, we want them to heat, correct? There's not much more to it than that, but I can give you some pointers and tips on the efficiencies, meaning the efficiencies of your house. What you can do to make your house more efficient, and then deciding on what system to purchase, therefore maximizing every single dollar you spent for a furnace and air conditioner. Not spending maximum dollars on a furnace and air conditioner because you're told of an efficiency rating, and that's it. So again, a common sense approach. When you start getting prices for any furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, the only number, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
Unapologetically right. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Maybe the things the ambassador said about you in the past, the Australian ambassador?
I don't know anything about him. I mean, if he said bad, then maybe he'll like to apologize. I really don't know. Did an ambassador say something bad about him? Don't tell me. I don't. Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah.
You said bad?
Before I took this position, Mr. President.
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will. Go ahead.
As only Trump can, he with a wink and a nod. Yeah, I don't like you either. That's okay. Does your ambassadorship end at that point? I would have to wonder.
I mean,
I don't know how you
why
can be
would they have
ambassador.
appointed him for that position? That's just asinine. I don't understand.
Very interesting. Let me get to our guest, Drew Horn. He is now the CEO of GreenMet. He's a former Trump administration official as well, dealing with precious minerals from across the world. And Mr. Horn, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Good. Did you enjoy watching that news conference yesterday?
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty hilarious.
So how important, tell people, like, they're probably, I thought this morning, well, who cares that the Australian Prime Minister was here, but what is the strategic advantage to strengthening relations with Australia?
Well, they're a key ally, and it's important for us to try and look for friends in this sort of larger pressure campaign against the Chinese.
Because of, the tariffs that the Chinese have brought up on their own precious minerals, is it our inability to get to those, so we need other sources? Is that what it is?
That's part of it. They also have some processing technologies that we're aligning with them on. I mean, we have all the materials we need and the technology we need inside the United States, but it's important to have alignment for near-term production of these materials with the Australians and other partners. The Chinese are basically blitzing an all-out war on us in terms of economic leverage and, restricting a lot of these key elements that are needed for all forms of technology. So it's important that we have our alliances to try and respond and protect ourselves.
How important do the minerals play into the Ukrainian war as well, and the mineral-rich Ukrainian territory that currently is under battle between Russia and Ukraine?
I mean, these minerals are important for everything, and so I would say every sort of conflict, involves them heavily. Ukraine has a lot of metals and things that are needed for industrial and technological development, and so those resources are under heavy pursuit, obviously, by both sides.
Yeah. Drew Horn is our guest from a company called GreenMet. He's the CEO. Tell us a little bit about what you do now.
Yeah, so we look to bring together capital and the right projects that we think advance U.S. national policy goals. I had the privilege of being a senior staffer working on this in the first Trump administration, saw there was a real need to bring in private companies, so that's what I try to do now.
Wow. So what are the barriers in the U.S.? I was told that there's a restriction that was put in place by previous administration that keeps the U.S. from extracting some of these very important minerals that we have right here in our own country. Why can't the president just lift that? Was it a congressional act? What was it?
Well, it's a combination of, executive branch action and congressional, but the president's working on it. So the president has a campaign of essentially fast-tracking all necessary and critical projects. He's working hand-in-hand with the Congress on that, and so I expect that will happen. It just takes some time once you get to common sense permitting to kind of turn a lot of these key projects on.
Where are we talking about, Drew? Are we talking about, is it on national park land? I mean, where are these minerals located in the U.S.?
No, it's nothing like that. It's not like digging up Yellowstone or anything that would be controversial.
Okay.
It's just, public lands that are being unused that basically, kind of crazy left-wing, paid for obstructors have basically shut projects down on.
And Drew, here in St. Louis, the Department of Energy just pulled a $197 million grant, which may thwart a project. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's an Israeli-based ICL group that was trying to build a energy plant here that would actually provide lithium iron phosphate, which I know is a key component in batteries for electric cars and consumers. And they basically just said it's not going to have the economic return worth that kind of a $197 million investment. Are they reanalyzing all of these kind of electric car initiatives that had been underway with the Biden administration?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any of these awards that doesn't justify, a real solution in a business case isn't going to be supported, is my read from this. And I think that's how it should be. There's a lot of projects that do make sense and that do move the ball forward. In Missouri, we have several projects in the rare earth space that are moving forward that will do real things at large scale. But I don't think that the government wants to prop up, false businesses that don't make sense just because, there was a sort of temporary fad on electric vehicles and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, are the big solar farms in California that 10 years after they're built are completely obsolete, right? I mean,
right,
and we spent $1 billion
ridiculous.
on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
So that's ridiculous, and we don't want the government propping up, scams or fake, businesses.
Yeah, very true. Well, Drew, interesting stuff. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yep. Take care of yourself. Interesting guy, and I didn't really have time to get into it with him. He's a former Special Forces operator.
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
the Army.
Right.
And he was an officer. And
they said too he had to secure mineral sites during his time, after they would, in Afghanistan and different places where they were feeling like they were going to be threatened. That's what his group did, was basically secure some of these mineral sites.
Well, good for him. Identifying a business that he's built out of that. GreenMet is the name of it. Coming up, we're going to get to in other news for you about 6:45. Todd Piro, host of Fox and Friends First this morning, joining us around 7:20. We'll get to him. We'll be back right after this break. Stay tuned.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Talk about a soaking rain. We got a lot of rain in the area on Saturday. I'm sure your yard is probably still a little moist as a result of that. Home Shield Foundation Repairs is out there for you, though. My friend Matt Hayes would be happy to come over and take a look at what's going on in your basement. You get any rain, any water down there after that rain? Do you worry about that every single time it rains? Stop worrying about it. Let Matt come over. He can waterproof cracks that are in your basement wall. He can do drain tiles. He can help install sump pumps. Anything you can imagine that might need to be done on your basement, he can do it. And then when he's done, you get a lifetime warranty. And you can work with a guy who's a small business owner. You're dealing directly with the owner. That's one thing I love about him. I've known Matt for a couple of years now. Great guy. Here's his phone number, 314-227-9636. That's 227-9636. Tell him Marc Cox sent you. Go to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
497.1 FM Talk. I'm Dan Buck. It is 6:30, and it is 52 degrees as we start our day. The Boeing Company and the Machinists Union returned to the bargaining table on Monday with two federal mediators. No settlement was reached in the 78-day strike. 7 hours worth of negotiating, but the two sides have agreed to continue the talks today. We'll keep you posted on those talks. St. Louis Public School Board member Ben Conover has submitted his resignation after the abrupt firing of the superintendent last week and the appointment of Myra Berry as the interim superintendent on Monday. Conover said that he has deep concerns over the reckless actions of the board and he could not continue to serve without compromising his values. Missouri Governor Mike Keogh hopes to convince the Trump administration to restore a $197 million federal grant that was going to be used to build a battery component factory. In sports, the Blue Jays beat the Mariners. They're off to the World Series. They'll play the Dodgers starting Thursday in Game 1. And in hockey, the Blues will play host to the LA Kings tonight. It is 6:31 and 40. We're sitting at 51 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, we've got the usual volume starting to appear, and that means northbound 55, just a little slow at 67 and at 270, and then it gets slower as you approach Bayless in the construction zone there. Northbound 270, slow pockets of moderate volume between Gravois and 64. But other than that, we look good. Now, 70 is a good run out west into downtown. Southbound 61, though, is a slow go from the Flint Hill area. It's moderate volume down through 64. Quiet through North County, and on the Illinois side, we still look good at this hour. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. And Point with an E Pest Control.
Tired of mice? Point Pest Control finds their entry points, eliminates the infestation, and seals them out for good with our exclusion services. Mention Annie to get 10% off on top of any other special. Call 636-798-0023. Visit Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
All right, time for you to get busy and get a hold of Golden Oak Lending, where they can get you a 4.5% interest rate right now. How long have you been waiting to hear those words come out of my mouth? Because maybe you've thought about selling, but you didn't want to lock in too high on the other end when you bought your new home. Now you have an opportunity at 4.5%, whether you're refinancing or buying new. Either way, it doesn't matter to the folks at Golden Oak. If you have questions, call them up and ask them. 314-567-GOLD. That can get you started. You can go to goldenoaklending.com and you can start your application online. They can usually get you funded in just a couple of weeks or less, and then you have cash that you can pay off high-interest credit cards with. You have cash for the holidays because you'll have a couple of months with no house payment. Think about what you could do with that several $1,000s in your pocket. Call them right now. Golden Oak can qualify you over the phone in minutes. They will never ask for your credit card. It is risk-free. 314-567-GOLD, goldenoaklending.com. That's a 5.442 APR. That's a 15-year FHA loan with 20% equity, qualified credit, and additional terms that do apply. Their NMLS number is 114937.
The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Greg and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Michelle. A big congratulations to 97.1 FM Talk. 25 years. Can't wait to see what's ahead.
Celebrating 25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis.
All right, this is the week, ladies and gentlemen. This Thursday, we're going to be out at Chesterfield at the District outside of Lit Cigar Lounge and celebrating 25 years on the air, and I'm very excited about it. Very excited that it's just it's free. Like anybody can come. We're hoping that you'll show up. They are asking you to RSVP so we have a head count. We can find out how to let our vendors know how much food they might need to have on hand or how many drinks they might need to have. But other than that, you can just show up and hang out with us. And Dan, here's what I know. Like I knew we were celebrating 25 years. I guess what I didn't realize is that last Thursday, in fact, I believe on the 16th, was technically our birthday, but we're not celebrating it until this Thursday. So there was some scheduling problems getting the venue and all that. So anyway, we got that all worked out. But technically,
I don't think anybody's going to hold us.
We're already 25 years old.
Yeah, we are officially 25.
Just like Dan. Dan's 26 today, but he's not telling anybody that.
Exactly.
So
but I'm going to celebrate it on Thursday
yeah.
at the party.
Yeah.
Right, there we go.
So anyway, 5 to 7:30 out at we've got live music set up outside. The Mark Reardon Show is going to be broadcasting live from 3 to 6. I'm going to be sitting in with Mark for part of that to just talking about the radio station and really what this is all a testament to you. If you're listening to this show this morning, you're the reason we did this 25 years ago. We appreciate the fact that many of you have been listening for most of those 25 years. I have. I can tell you that. I've been a listener since it went on the air. I remember some of Dave Glover's very first broadcasts on this radio station when he was giving legal advice. We're going to have him on Thursday, by the way, just to talk about the history of the station, and we're going to have John Beck on. In fact, John tells me he was listening the other morning when I mentioned that, and he texted me and thanked me. He's looking forward to coming down.
Yeah, John and I had breakfast just about a week and a half ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was excited about coming down.
Yeah, great guy.
Celebrating with us. He was one of the pioneers, the people with the vision and the, really it took nerve because FM was really for music. It was where people said, oh, people are never going to cross over there to listen to talk, right? And we not only made it successful here at 97.1, but we made it the norm where other people began to feel comfortable bringing FM talk, whether it was sports or whatever, to the FM side of the dial. So.
It's a good point, and have been doing it consistently since then. Different iterations, but things changed a little bit over the years. I mentioned it once before. Probably 2005 is when I started doing some fill-in stuff on this station, and then got my own show with my name on it in 2010. So it fit 20 years roughly is how long you've occasionally heard my voice on this station, starting in about 2005. So it's an honor that we're still going, the honor to still be here. My favorite job ever. I just have to tell you, I told my family it just took me 30 years to find my perfect job, my favorite job.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell how much you enjoy it. I mean, every day you come with passion and conviction, and you get after it, which you don't have that freedom in TV news. People always say, what's the difference between radio and television? I always say it's freedom, the ability to have long-form discussions and have to really dive into topics, to bring experts on, have interviews that last 6, 7, 8 minutes. In TV, we never got that. It was like, here's your 2 minutes, make the most of it,
It's true.
So I just love the long-form.
And to challenge people to not accept just any excuse from the mainstream media or from elected officials, and to ask questions and to push people on things, and to reject that narrative that you often don't realize you're being fed until it's too late. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It bears repeating. Close to 20 years I've been on this station. I've had my own show since 2010. Never have I been told what to say or what not to say on this radio station. Never have I been told you can't talk about this subject, that subject's off limits. During COVID, when we were talking about ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and all of these things that got us banned from YouTube at the time because they shadow banned, they just gave you 3 strikes, you're out. You can't talk about this because who? The federal government decided? Big Pharma decided you weren't going to be able to talk about these things? We never stopped talking about those things. And never will. And that's you just have to understand how mind-blowing that is. People like to spread rumors. Well, you're controlled by corporate media. People tell you what to say, blah, blah, blah. It's never been the case on this radio station, and I'm sure that Annie and Mark would tell you exactly the same thing. It's not. It's just nothing that's ever happened, and that's the great thing about it. Now, what that brings me back to for just a minute is the situation with Rennie Knott. And we find out that Rennie, because of a couple of offhand comments that he made in the workplace, a couple of snowflakes managed to get him fired for it. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't know what Rennie Knott's politics are. But if you listen to him in this soundbite, I mean, he doesn't sound like he's some raging conservative. Listen to what he said. He actually appeared on the apparently Glover's show yesterday afternoon. Here's part of what he said.
So I get the call, and it wasn't even on January 3rd this happened, on September 15th this happened. It was, did you say this? Did you say anything about a gun? Did you say that you were going to do that? And I'm going, no. I go, was there conversations about guns? I'm sure there were conversations about guns. I don't have a gun, never had a gun, don't want a gun. So I'm not shooting anything or anything like that. I don't know what the context of the conversation was. All I know is you're asking me if I ever say anything about guns.
How could you not? How could you be in a newsroom situation and never discuss guns? And what is it about the discussion about a gun that scares you? Unless the allegation is that I said I'm going to go get a gun and shoot you with it. That's not what allegedly happened here. It was a conversation about a gun. He doesn't own a gun. He said right there he's never wanted to own a gun. But to each his own.
Yeah.
Would he have been more guilty of it if he did own a gun? I mean, what you've got here is a snowflake situation. You wonder how liberal the local media is. Here's the HR department over it. Is it still owned by who owns it these days? I know Tegna's selling it to Sinclair. Is that right?
No, selling it to Nexstar.
But
Nexstar is waiting on the FCC approval of the
right,
sale.
So still being run by.
It's still being run
by Tegna. So whatever reason, these woke people didn't give him a second chance. They didn't put a letter in his file. Some snowflakes in the newsroom didn't like the fact that Rennie was probably old school and joked around and just wasn't, soft around the edges, and that somehow offended them. And they got him fired over it. It's outrageous. It's ridiculous.
And the St. Louis Magazine article made it sound like they were worried that he could be unhinged or something. that he was, and he's a pretty laid back.
If you've
dude.
Ever met Rennie, and like I said, I don't know him well. I spent a week with him in Washington
chill.
one time.
Yeah.
He is one of the most chill people you'll ever meet. He really is just a great guy. I don't get it. We don't understand it, but that's kind of what's gone on. And the fact that we're having a birthday celebration this week, celebrating 25 years of being honest and truthful with you on the air and bringing you stories the mainstream media is not covering, makes what we do all that more important.
It is, and I think that's what talk radio brings in general, is that it's the one place they can't censor in real time.
Yes.
Right? What happens on live radio, it happens, and it's in perpetuity. You can't get it back. You can't ban it. You can't go back and say, oh, we're gonna cancel that comment. No, it's there, and you heard it live, and you're part of that conversation, which I think is great. So.
And hopefully it spurs some thoughts in your head. We'd like to think. All right. Quick break here because we have other news on the other side, and we'll get to Mark Walters at 7:35 this morning. It is 2A Tuesday, where we're going to talk to Mark about this just crazy. The Supreme Court is about to maybe take up a couple of gun issues, I hope. We're going to find out more from Mark on that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, we are seeing more volume, of course, on the roads as the morning progresses. And there was a stall reported on southbound 270 past 64 on the right-hand side. Looks like they've gotten that out of the way. And really what we've got is the usual volume on northbound 270. And that's slow pockets between 55 and Manchester. It's also a little slow at Ladue Road. Now, 55 northbound, we've got multiple construction zones. So expect a little bit of volume at 67. Then things open up and it slows again at 270 in the right lanes. And then from Bayless through Loughborough in the construction zone. Eastbound 70, it's slow. And this is Highway A almost to Bryan Road. Southbound 61, some slow pockets headed for 64. Southbound 79 is slow as you head towards 70 this morning. Mainly it's slow headed for Main Street. And eastbound 64, just some volume out at Prospect. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
Well, you might have been looking out at your yard when the storms rolled in this weekend, because if you've got trees, of course, you always worry. If you're a property owner, the risk of one of those trees blowing over or a big limb breaking off and crushing your shed or whatever. Let's hope it's not a person or a car. But one way you can get ahead of that is just to have Hanson's come over. It's pretty simple. Hanson's Tree Service, great folks. Chad Hanson has such a great group of people out there, and they will trim those trees. They'll give you sort of a strategy on how to best take care of your yard. With the colder weather coming, and we're going to start getting down in the 40s here soon, your yard, your grass is going to start to go dormant. If you've got to have a big tree removed, it's the best time of year to do it because they can get in there, lay down, plywood if they need to drive the equipment into your yard or the back of your yard to get those trees removed, and it doesn't do the damage it could to your yard if it's still not dormant. And so they can get that planned for you and get it taken care of. All you have to do is call them. You need mulch? Call them or go to their website at hansonstree.com. Here's the phone number. Tell them Marc Cox sent you, 636-379-1830.
25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis.
Hey, it's Markley Van Camp and Robbins. Happy 25th to 97.1 FM Talk.
Telling the truth as the leading conservative voice in St. Louis.
Doing things the right way is a tradition. Here's to 25 more years.
Hey, Stewie, I'm hearing mortgage rates have plummeted. The Fed's making moves. Is this the moment where folks can start saving some money?
Annie, I'm so excited, and you should be too. This is a great opportunity. Now, there's numerous ways to go ahead and save money. One is go from rate A to rate B, reduce it at no cost with the bagel loan, and save $100, $200, $300, $700 a month. Another way is to reduce the term. We took a customer, went from 29 years left on the loan to 20 years. Their payment went up $35 a month, and guess what? They saved $170,000 in interest.
Does that mean we should wait or should we act right now?
Well, that's a good question. People ask me this all the time. The Federal Reserve is going to cut the rates. Maybe I should wait. No, the market goes ahead and adjusts for potential rate cuts in the future. So the rates are typically lower than when the Federal Reserve actually does something about it. So go ahead and refinance now. Later on, if rates go ahead and drop, we can always refinance you for free again with the bagel loan.
Contact my friend Stewie at 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan and MLS number 226715.
Hey guys, Sig Glock and Cold here from Tactical St. Peter's. The suppressor boom of 2026 is coming quick in January. Get yours now and just say dibs. We'll save it for you till January and you won't have to pay tax. Tactical Cave Springs and St. Peter's.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Make the most of fall and have an outdoor space that you actually love that's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design builds custom decks, screened-in porches, covered patios, and they use these durable, low-maintenance materials like composite decking and aluminum railings. They're going to make sure you have the perfect setup so you can host your family and friends for backyard barbecues or just sit outside and enjoy the morning coffee even when it's raining. Don't wait until the spring to start planning the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start with a free consultation. Visit lakesiderd.com, lakesiderd.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
All right, I want you to leave my girl Kristen Bell alone. All right?
Okay.
Do you remember our connection to her, don't you, Dan?
No.
So the assistant news director at Channel 4 when I started working there was a guy named Tom Bell.
Okay, yeah.
That's her dad.
Oh, no kidding. I love Tom. He was a great guy.
He was a great guy. He's now a news director in Las Vegas. I just found out. He's still in the news business.
Man.
He's a news director in Vegas.
He's
I don't know why Kristen wouldn't just slip him a couple million and tell him to retire.
Right.
I don't know. But regardless, she's in trouble on social media because of a tone-deaf anniversary post to her husband, Dax Shepard. She shared an Instagram photo of the couple hugging with the caption, "Happy 12th anniversary to the man who once said to me, I would never kill you. A lot of men have killed their wives at a certain point. Even though I'm heavily incentivized to kill you, I never would." Wow. End quote.
I think that's hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious. But she's had to cancel her social media after tone-deaf post about the Dak Shepard anniversary with people suggesting that it encourages domestic violence.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I know. Lighten up.
Get a life.
I'm sorry.
You know, they always say there's an insurance for everything, right? Did you know that there is now an insurance for Grubhub for college students who fall asleep before their delivery arrives and they don't answer the door?
There is not.
Yes, Grubhub offering this insurance for anybody who falls asleep before their food arrives. It's a $2 upcharge. But if you snooze, you lose is the way it used to be. Now if you snooze, you get a $15 credit if you're asleep when you get there. You'll get a free $15 meal to be used at a later date. And your food. So if you fall asleep, which apparently is a big problem, they say almost 4% of all college campus deliveries end up being no answers because people are sound asleep. Because they're sound asleep. So they think it's a way that some college kids may pay the extra $2 in case they fall asleep during their late night.
And then they'll get a $15 credit the next time they fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's probably mom and dad's money they're spending.
They don't care. They're just putting it on the card. Right? They just put it on mom and dad's card. We're good. But yeah, so anyway, they said that Grubhub's a way to give people insurance should they fall asleep. And it works for anybody, not just college students.
Now, I'm going to end up hearing about this just for bringing it up. I'll guarantee at some point today my teenager will say, Dad, did you talk about on the air? And I'm going to have to say yes. Have you heard kids saying 6'7"?
6'7".
Yes, I do.
Why?
6'7". I don't know. I have no idea.
Why is it a thing?
It's some sports kid did it.
Teachers.
It was a TikTok thing.
Teachers are fed up with it apparently, and they're ready to start kicking kids out of their class for doing it. It started with some TikTok things. Some rapper Doot did a song about it. Some people thought that it was some reference to a basketball player's height, who's 6 feet 7 inches tall. But some lady went viral, some teacher. She was trying to teach a lesson on the board with a graph, and it started with a 6, and everybody in the room started snickering and saying 6'7", 6'7", and adults don't understand the fascination with it.
No, and 5, 6, 7-year-olds are now doing it.
I know.
Yeah.
They're starting with 41 now, too. That's another one.
What's 41?
Same thing.
Nobody
you
really
tell
knows.
Me, Dan.
You tell me.
My daughter does it, so I know it's there.
It's a mystery to all of us.
We're old.
I should have done this story before I did the Grubhub story, but apparently a 73-year-old man on medical marijuana has now been banned from smoking weed within 25 feet of the building because one of his neighbors complained and said her right to enjoy her property was greater than his right to enjoy his marijuana, and the judge agreed. An actual landmark court case that may stop marijuana smokers from skunking up their buildings.
No kidding. We had that problem here for a while.
We had that here.
There was somebody who lived upstairs in one of these first apartments that would get stoned at 4 a.m, and we'd smell it down here.
It came through the vents.
And it took the building 5 months to get rid of this individual.
Well, apparently
it was awful.
This case is going to be a precedent in D.C. where this complaint comes in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no skunks in this guy's house. He's got to be 25 feet away from the building.
Let's hope that applies nationwide. That would be great. If you got to get stoned that bad at 4 a.m, eat a gummy or something. For God's sake, don't screw up the air for everybody else. Come on.
That's
like
right.
a grown-up. All right. Todd Piro for Fox and Friends coming up.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Lights flickering?
Grasser can fix it.
Breaker keeps tripping?
That's a Grasser job.
Outlet not working?
Grasser makes it right.
Old wiring need a rewire?
Grasser rewires with care.
From little fixes to major fixes.
Even the tricky ones.
We treat your home like our own.
Treat? Did you say treat?
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction, 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
It's now tied for the second longest government shutdown ever. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's the 21st day, and President Trump will huddle up with Senate Republicans today, having lunch at the White House.
Republicans are united, and I expect the president to say, stand strong. What we're seeing here are the Democrats practicing the politics of pain.
GOP Senator John Barrasso also tells Fox.
It's the millions of military members, TSA agents, Border Patrol, people who go to work every day, and they're wondering when will they get their next paycheck.
Republicans are pushing legislation to pay those essential workers who keep working while the other federal employees are furloughed and unpaid. Democrats say this is all Republicans' fault for refusing to negotiate on provisions they want to add to a funding bill. One would prevent a looming cut to Obamacare subsidies, which would raise coverage costs for some Americans. Vice President Vance landed in Israel a few hours ago for talks trying to keep the Trump-brokered ceasefire in place in Gaza after weekend fighting. The president says,
we made a deal with Hamas that, they're going to be very good, they're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them if we have to.
A deadline President Trump set for colleges and universities to respond to an offer of federal funding with strings attached has passed. 7 of the 9 have rejected it. Brown, Dartmouth, MIT, and USC, Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Virginia.
Vanderbilt responded with feedback on the proposal, not saying yes or no. There's no public response yet from the University of Texas at Austin. White House demands include caps on international enrollment, removing factors like sex and ethnicity from admissions consideration, a 5-year freeze on tuition costs, and the wealthiest schools charging no tuition for undergraduate hard science degrees.
Fox's Chris Foster. A man's jailed in Atlanta in what may have been a thwarted mass shooting. Billy Joe Cagle arrested at the airport. His family alerted police. He faces numerous charges.
Terroristic threats, criminal attempt to commit aggravated assaults, possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony.
Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shirebaum, a loaded rifle was found in Cagle's car. America's listening to Fox News.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:03 and we're at 52 degrees. The Boeing Company and the Machinists Union returned to the bargaining table on Monday with two federal mediators. And while no settlement to the 78-day strike was reached in that 7-hour negotiation, the two sides have agreed to get back to the bargaining table today. We'll see how that goes. St. Louis Public School Board member Ben Conover has submitted his resignation after the abrupt firing of the superintendent last week and the appointment of Myra Berry as the interim superintendent yesterday. Conover said he had deep concerns over the reckless actions of the board and he could not continue to serve without compromising his values. Missouri Governor Mike Keogh hopes to convince the Trump administration to restore a $197 million federal grant that was going to be used to build a battery component factory in North St. Louis. While the plant would have generated 150 new full-time jobs, the administration says the huge public grant to an Israeli-owned company would not bring adequate advancement to the nation's energy needs nor provide a positive return on investment. In sports, the Fall Classic is set after the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Mariners in dramatic fashion in Game 7 of the ALCS. A 3-run, seventh-inning homer by George Springer gave the Jays a 4-3 win. The World Series Game 1 will be Thursday night between L.A. and Toronto. In hockey, the 3-2 Blues will get back at it tonight at Enterprise. They play host to the L.A. Kings. It is 7:05 and 52 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
There is an accident on southbound 170 south of 270, and they've got the left side blocked, the left lanes. Traffic, of course, is jammed behind it, and right now it goes back through 270. Southbound 61, some moderate volume headed down towards 64 this morning. Southbound 79, slow headed for North Main Street. And when you get to the interstates, 70 is lined up Highway A in pockets through Bryan Road, and then it opens up. And 64 just has slow pockets of moderate volume out west. Once you get across the Boone Bridge, things open up. Southbound 270, we've got an accident reported near the Clayton Road overpass, so some slow-moving traffic there. And northbound, pockets of slow, moderate volume between 55 and Manchester. And northbound 55 is slowing at Bayless, headed into the work zone. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a little chilly going out the door this morning. Lots of sunshine throughout the day today, and a breeze to even windy at times again from the north-northwest will take control as we go through the afternoon. 66 for the high. Tonight, clear. Kind of cold, 43. In fact, it is cold. Wednesday, sunny, cool, breezy, 64. 43 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny and 66. Got some rain moving in here Friday into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Thanks, Dave. 52 degrees as you start your Tuesday morning. Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you anytime, anywhere. All you need to do is go out on the App Store and download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good morning. Glad you're back with us here on the Marc Cox Morning Show, and here alongside Dan Buck, filling in for Kimberly St. Ange. We got Ethan Bright and, of course, Sue Thomas with your traffic coming up here shortly. Hey, I got to tell you, I'm a hunter. I go hunting every year. I'll probably go again, maybe sooner. I understand now would be the time to go deer hunting. My brother-in-law's informed me. Instead of waiting till November, which is gun season. And then I read, because, when you go deer hunting, here's what you have to do. You're either camping somewhere and then you get up and walk out into the woods in the dark to go to a tree stand, or you drive there early in the morning. You usually want to be up there before the sun comes up. That's when hunting season starts. And then I read this headline. A bear had not killed a human in the Ozarks since 1892. Now it's happened twice in a month.
Yep. We covered that last week. Oh, man. And that's so uncharacteristic of a black bear. They're afraid of humans normally. They do not normally engage.
It's interesting that that's your perspective on that. Because when I traveled to Glacier National Park a few years ago, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole because the National Park Service, when the government's not closed, they put out a lot of videos on what to do when you interact with a bear. And what it said was that a grizzly bear is more likely to attack you and injure you, but if you don't fight back, they'll probably leave you alone and leave the scene. Whereas a black bear, if it attacks you, is more likely doing so because it's hungry and you need to fight back, which is I've always found weird. So I don't know what's going on down here. I do know that that the next time I'm in the dark heading to a tree stand, I will have a sidearm with me just in case.
No question.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
One guy was apparently camping without a tent. They said sleeping out in the wide open. And not that a tent protects you, but it does protect your scent. It keeps it. Yeah, it does. You're not getting it out there in the air as much. But no, I mean, black bears traditionally are not attackers. They go for a lot of foliage. They'll eat small animals, things like that. But they're only usually between like 150, 170 pounds. Not that I could
take them.
Not that I could take it. Not that I could kick a bear's butt. but at least at 170 pounds, you'd feel you had a chance. You know what I mean?
Man.
Because he's going to try to take you down, right? I'd be going for the eyeballs, right? Right off the bat.
He's thought about this.
Oh, you've got to think about it, right? Because he's probably, if he attacks you and takes you down, it's probably because he's got a limb. Right? I mean, that's how he's going to get you down. He's going to attack you, grab a leg, grab an arm, something. You have to just go for the eyeballs. Like a shark. Same thing. Got to go for the eyeballs because that's what will get him to release and run.
I think I'll just use lead.
Well, if you can get it out in time. Right?
That is disconcerting as somebody who likes to
But can you imagine?
Go into the woods and deer hunt.
1892 was the last attack. It was like over 100 years ago.
Bears, and we've even opened up bear season now. So it's they're
and
coming
you better
back.
have a big old rifle if it's a polar bear. Up they were saying up in the north, it's ridiculous, like how fast those animals are and how ferocious.
That in many places in Alaska, people leave their cars unlocked because if one's chasing you. You need to be able to get away. You just hop in somebody's car will help, even though I'm sure they could get in if they wanted to.
I mean, they say they can run like 25 miles an hour. The fastest human's like 22. And can you imagine a bear that's like what are they, 700 pounds or something like that?
Huge.
You ain't got a chance.
No,
not a chance.
All right, so we've covered bear news this morning. Be careful with that. That's a little bit of breaking news for you if you're heading out into the woods. Coming up, it is 2A Tuesday. Maybe we'll talk that over with Mark Walters at the bottom of the hour. Todd Piro coming up next, host of Fox and Friends First. Don't miss that. But right now, Ethan, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
I'm going to tear up the crown.
I don't know exactly what Nancy imbibed before that particular event yesterday, but she took a crown and she snapped it in half.
Oh, did you see the
Queen
edit
Nancy.
point? In that video, they had to edit it because she couldn't get it snapped. She was too weak. And somebody had to come up, snap it, then they re-edited like her holding the two pieces. Watch the piece on the internet because they make a big edit point when she's trying to snap the crown. Well, I'm so weak and old, I can't even snap this plastic crown.
It was a loser like most of the people that went to those protests.
Just a few weeks ago at UNGA, you said that Ukraine could possibly win the war and
they could.
territory, but now
They could still win it. I don't think they will, but they could still win it. I never said they would win it. I said they could win. Anything can happen.
Anything could happen. People trying to take words out of context here. It's almost like some of them are rooting against him.
I just happen to think if I were Democrats, I would rather have directed that energy into the campaigns that are going on this year instead of marching around the way they did. But listen, you guys spend your time however you want. It's a free country, not a monarchy.
Yeah, it's true. Scott Jennings there. Of course, he has a show here on 97.1 FM Talk, but he's daily on CNN ripping them a new one, and I love listening to it.
More to come, Maria. I'm telling you, Pam Bondi has let us loose, and when this comes out, it'll take the whole of these people's hoaxes down, and we're doing it bit by bit, and it's fantastic. It's a great privilege.
Recognize that voice there, Dan Buck? That was Ed Martin.
Was that Ed?
Yeah, the one and only former Missourian who moved to Virginia a number of years ago for his wife's job, but has been involved in politics there. President Trump made him acting U.S. attorney. The Democrats pulled the blue card or whatever, and they had to remove him from that because he knew he wasn't going to get approved. So now they've made him like basically a special prosecutor, looking into a variety of different things, including, according to him, the truth about January 6th. And also, very interestingly, he's going to be looking into a lot of these other issues that we've all been
I know the Russian
about.
hoax is another one.
Yeah, listen to what he said to Maria Bartiromo about that when she had him on this week. Listen.
About the January 6th committee, did they destroy evidence? Is there criminality there?
Of course, we're all in that too. And trust me, a lot of people did not get a pardon that were involved in the select committee, and they ought to be keeping an eye on their mailbox because there's a lot to be asked about.
And the pardons that were given out were done by an auto pen. Are they legitimate?
Well, I'm the pardon attorney, so I'm in that too. I can tell you we're investigating how the pardons were granted. It was not like anything in the history of America what not Joe Biden, his staffers did, not just with the auto pen, but with faking him out on the memos. More to come, Maria. I'm telling you, Pam Bondi has let us loose, and when this comes out, it'll take the whole of these people's hoaxes down, and we're doing it bit by bit, and it's fantastic. It's a great privilege.
Unbelievable.
She couldn't have appointed a better person. He will track that to the bitter end.
Bulldogs. Talk about a bear. They're getting back to our bear story. He is definitely a bear on the hunt right now.
That is the perfect person for that job.
That's right.
But we're going to need to try to get him on here. Now that I see he's doing media again, I need to text him this morning and see if we can get him on the show. Maybe we can get him up early enough if we do it in the 8 o'clock hour since he's on Eastern time. I'll see what I can do about that. Coming up, we'll get to Todd Piro from Fox and Friends first. It looked to me like Carly Shimkus is kicking his butt in the office football pool. Did you see that?
And who's second? I think Ainsley's second.
Ainsley's
second. The two women on the show are winning their football pool.
I didn't see where Pyro was, but that's kind of embarrassing. We'll
talk to him about that. Are you saying women can't know a lot about sports?
No, not at all.
Not.
Come on. Oh, boy. Probably like the team colors might have been why they picked that. Anyway, we'll get to all that and more for you coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, there is an accident southbound 270 near the Clayton Road overpass, and this thing has been blocking the two left lanes. So, of course, we do have a delay through that area. Now, the other accident is southbound 170 south of 270, and they've got the left lane blocked there. Traffic really jams back on to 270 westbound. Those are the two main issues at this hour, but we still have some volume along northbound 270, 55 up through Ladue Road, northbound 55 slowing at Bayless. And if you're headed in from Illinois, there is some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. Out west, southbound 61 slowing at 64, and that has some pockets of slow-moving traffic eastbound between 70 and 94. And eastbound 70, some moderate volume too, Highway A through Bryan Road. And then it looks better. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Very excited that we get to take the whole crew out, and they will get to experience Lit Cigar Lounge. And if you're coming out to our 25th birthday party this week on Thursday, you'll get to experience it as well. Now, we're set up outside of Lit Cigar Lounge. We're set up inside. If you want to go in and have a drink or a cigar, you're welcome to do that. Premium hand-rolled cigars from some of the finest makers in the world, and they are experts on them at Lit Cigar Lounge. They have a great selection of rare bourbons. Maybe all you want is to go have a good drink. They've got some great bourbons, whiskeys, gin, vodka, rum, beer, you name it. They've got a great bar in there. Private lockers as well. Now, you don't have to do that, but you can keep your own stash down there at Lit Cigar Lounge. And they have music every Friday night. It's going to be great. We'll have music on Thursday night this week at Lit Cigar Lounge. But it's family-owned and operated. You're going to love meeting Brian and Dana and Andrew and the people that run it. I think they've been around 5 or 6 years now, and it's just great. Visit them down there in the district, in the Chesterfield Valley, just down from the factory. You can order Napoli Brothers for dinner right from the app when you're sitting in the Lit Cigar Lounge down there. Can't wait to see you on Thursday night. Visit them online at litstl.com or follow them on socials for more events and specials.
More and more now I'm hearing when all my customers that are calling and setting up appointments for looking at different types of furnace and air conditioners, they're calling in because of all the years that I've said there is a common sense approach, and they want to see what that is. Well over 95% of the people are very happy that they did call me. I'm not saying that they purchased anything from me, but they're extremely happy that they did call me. It's not being cheaper, it's being explained in such a way to where they can make an honest decision for themselves and their family and what's best for their pocketbook. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Ruler Foods is your Halloween headquarters. Scoop up candy at everyday low prices. Pumpkins for just $3.99 and all the carving kits, party supplies, and treats that you can dream of. Whether you're hosting a bash or prepping for trick-or-treaters, Ruler Foods has the goods to make your Halloween a scream without scaring your wallet. Hurry in today and order online, have it delivered directly to your door. Shop smart, spend less, and save more at Ruler Foods. Find your Ruler Foods at rulerfoods.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Bull crap! Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is anchor man, not anchor lady, and that is a scientific fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have anchor man Todd Piro, host of Fox and Friends First, who's apparently being owned by his anchor lady when it comes to the office football pool.
They're getting smoked, Todd.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, you're getting smoked. Hello.
That clip that you play, I tell both my co-anchor, who's a woman, and my wife that same thing, that only men belong in the newsroom, and it goes really well for me.
I'll bet it does every time. Carly Shimkus, leading the Fox Morning News poll in football. How's that a thing there, Todd?
First of all, disclaimer to the people in St. Louis, obviously I don't say that because I'd be divorced and Carly would kill me.
True.
Second, on the fantasy football thing, do you not follow my social media?
Well, I do. Yeah, I don't know if I check it every day, but I follow you on Twitter. Yeah, why?
I'm in 3 fantasy football leagues, 2 of which were organized in a proper time frame for organizing fantasy football leagues.
Okay, all right.
One of them is the Fox and Friends Staff League, 5-2, because I'm really good at fantasy football. The other one is, obviously the Ruthless Podcast guys. You obviously know Will Kane.
I do, yes.
I'm in their podcast, 5-2, although I did lose to comfortably smug this past week, but still 5-2. So then the fucking sorry.
No, we're good. We're good.
We have a drop button.
We got a drop button.
I assume they have one of those at Fox News.
So how do you really feel?
The day before the Fox and Friends one, we get told, "Hey, you're doing a Fox and Friends league," and I said, "Guys, I have a family. Okay, I have a wife and I have kids, and I'm in 2 leagues. I can't be in charge of this." The guy who allows me to do these radio hits, Connor Smith, who literally just walked in the door. Boy, that timing could have been a lot worse.
Tell him we said hello. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Thank God for the drop. Anyway, so no joke. They come, I'm like, I can't do it. You want to run my team, you run my team. So I let somebody else do the draft.
Oh, okay.
I was like 1-4. So finally I said, I'm firing you. So I made a whole big presentation, like they do at a podium where they fire somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have to go in a different direction. I wish his family the best. And I did all that. I posted it on my social.
That's great.
Slowly but surely, I'm crawling back. I'm getting back into it because I'm in charge now, and I know how to do fantasy football. I'm really, really good at it.
He sounds a little defensive here, doesn't
I'm going to call him for some tips if he's that good.
I'm really good. No, I'm good. I know what I'm doing.
Sometimes when Todd calls, Carly's in the background somewhere, and she would have chimed in, I'm sure, if she was in there right now.
Right. Can I tell you something that's probably a little bit out of school?
Uh-oh. Yes.
Do we have to have the button ready? We have to have the drop button ready?
I'm not going to curse this time. Stop it.
Okay. All right.
I said, Carly, you know what? As you know, I beat you by 1 point this week. In other words, I had that extra point that the Giants didn't seem to have. But she goes, I have no idea. I've never even opened the app.
Oh, no.
Somebody's picking it for her?
Her husband does it.
Oh, okay.
Now that makes a lot more sense because she's whooping up on people.
Yeah, because she didn't play me in the early going. Now that she's played me, she's lost. Again, I'm really good at this. Also, up until now, I've been really good at never cursing on live air. So ruined that string.
Live radio, nothing like it, baby.
Can you guys confirm that curse did not go to the people of St. Louis?
Yes, we can.
Let's find out here. Ethan, can you confirm that?
I mean, I hit the button. I hope
it collapses the last 7 seconds, so you should have been safe.
You should be safe.
He hit it pretty quickly.
So, again, have you seen anything on the socials? Are people writing the Marc Cox?
No.
Nobody on our social channels are commenting that they heard anything inappropriate whatsoever from our one Todd Piro. Oh, wait a minute.
Again,
somebody just said, yeah, we heard it.
Our social media can hear it.
Oh, social.
It doesn't get dumped out
That's
of that.
true.
No.
Yeah,
which means it's not a violation of the FCC.
That's
so it's
true.
Not a problem.
You're good.
Yeah.
Is Elon Musk going to come after me?
Exactly.
I don't know. So here's what I need to know. I saw an article today, a New York Post article, calling for Curtis Sliwa to drop out of the race in New York there for mayor to try to give Cuomo a better chance. Are you following that story at all, or is it just something made up?
Of course. And look, what's interesting is I think we all thought that Cuomo would get a little bit more of a boost when Adams dropped out.
Yes.
That really didn't happen. So now people are saying the same thing with regard to our friend Curtis Sliwa. And now you notice, it's always been, hey, Curtis, you should do what's best for the city. Hey, Curtis, you really need to do this. Now it's like people are coming up with dirt on Curtis. And I think a lot of the dirt has been known in New York City inner circles for years, but inner circles are not the mass of voters. And I think the goal is now to pollute Curtis Sliwa and pollute the image of him with all this dirty stuff to really get him to drop out. I don't know if he will. Maybe I shouldn't, get fooled in believing a politician, but he does not give me the sense that he wants to go out. Feels like he's going down with this ship.
I watched him this weekend giving a news conference in a business suit. Normally he's got his red hat on, his cap on. He looked like he means business. I just can't envision him dropping out at this point. And I don't even know if it would make a difference. This is crazy.
That's the thing. That's what it goes to. Like we saw, like I said, with Adams, it didn't make a difference. In this one, maybe, but I understand the logic. The logic makes complete sense. But find me that person that was all in the tank for Sliwa that's going to pull the lever for Cuomo. Cuomo is not well liked. Killing grandmas, not a great platform.
No, not going to work out well for him at all, I don't think. Todd, we're out of time, my friend. We have to go back and scrub the internet now for you. Don't worry.
That's right. Sorry for ruining radio.
I can confirm it did get dropped.
Okay, good.
When I don't call next week, I'll know why.
You're good.
Oh, you're all good. Give Carly our best, the leader there, please.
Do.
All
Will do. Have a great week, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you. Todd Piro there. That's funny. And you know what I love about that is that he's relaxed enough on the radio with us that kind of slipped. It just shows you how real he is.
Yeah, he is. He's
personally.
a guy, the number one guy you want to have a beer with, for sure.
Thank you, Richie. Great comment on Facebook. We'll be back with 2A Tuesday here in just a minute.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
All right. If your house is dry, you can ignore what I'm about to say to you. But if you have a leaky basement or you have a portion of your foundation that tends to get a little damp when there's a lot of rain like we had this weekend, you need Home Shield Foundation repairs. You need to let my friend Matt Hayes come over and take a look. He is a foundation expert. Just what he does, he's been doing it for 20-plus years now. He can eyeball the situation, and he's going to give you a remedy that fits the problem. He tells me that far too often in the business these days, some big conglomerates have taken over the waterproofing business, and they send their top salesperson out to identify your problem and then upsell you on it. Matt is not going to do that. He'll be there in person. He'll look you in the eye. He'll tell you what it takes to fix it. Then he'll give you a lifetime guarantee. Call him at 314-227-9636 or go online to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 7:30 and 51 degrees. The Boeing Company and the Machinists Union returned to the bargaining table on Monday with two federal mediators. And while no settlement to the 78-day-long strike has been reached in a 7-hour negotiation, the two sides have agreed to continue the talks today. The city of St. Louis has dropped their lawsuit of former Congresswoman Cori Bush over unpaid earnings taxes. Collector of Revenue Gregory Daly says the outstanding $6,390 in unpaid earnings tax penalties and interest that dates back to 2020 through 2022 has now been fully paid, which makes the case null and void. In sports, the Fall Classic is set after the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Mariners in dramatic fashion in Game 7 in the ALCS. They won it 4-3 on a 3-run homer in the 7th. The World Series Game 1 will be between L.A. and Toronto beginning Thursday. And the Blues are back at it tonight against the L.A. Kings at Enterprise. That's your headlines. It's 7:31. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Lanes blocked now. Southbound 170 south of 270 as crews clear an accident there. And we do have a jam behind it that goes back onto westbound 270. Now, the other accident is southbound 270 approaching Manchester, really close to the Clayton Road overpass. They've got the left lane blocked there as well, and that jam goes back near Page. Now, other than that, it's been the usual volume and slow pockets on eastbound 70 from out west to just about Lindbergh. Southbound 61 is really jammed now at 64, which has slow pockets from out west into Big Bend. Westbound lines up near Hampton through Hanley. And northbound 55, most of the volume there is at Bayless. We've got volume now northbound Route 3 at Monsanto and westbound headed for and crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Climate Masters. We specialize in older homes. Climate Masters Heating and Cooling. Trusted heating and cooling installation and maintenance service. Keeping the St. Louis Metro comfortable since 1978. Call us today at 314-968-8383. Climate Masters.
All right, retirement is one of those things that you talk about. You hear people talk about it on the air and the radio, on the TV, your whole life, and hopefully you've thought about it and planned out what that looks like. Do you have a pension? Good for you. A lot of people don't these days. How do you build income in retirement? Is it a combination of your Social Security and pulling money off the pile of money you put into a 401k? Maybe. That's what it is for a lot of people. The Retirement Advisory Group can help walk you through that process. And importantly, I think, show you how to protect that other pile of money. Like you're hoping you get your Social Security check coming in each month. If you're going to take income off of your savings, you want to make sure it's not going to fluctuate. They have a way to make sure that you have a personalized, structured income plan so your money lasts as long as you do and hopefully longer. That's the key. Just call them up, tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about them, and you want to come in for a free consultation, no commitments at all, 314-993-9494. That gets you to retirementkey.com as well. You can go there and schedule your appointment right online. They want to make it easy for you. Say hello to Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw when you get over there. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's retirementkey.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Fox News National, St. Louis Local, 97.1 FM Talk.
If you ban them in the future, the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
So you don't shoot deer with a bullet that size. If you do, you could cook it at the same time.
Put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This is 2A Tuesday, brought to you by the Range St. Louis West.
All right, Mark Walters with us, host of Armed American Radio and Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. Mark, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me this morning. Good morning, St. Louis.
Hey, we have a key question for you. So, Mark Walters, you are You're walking through the woods early in the morning on the way to your tree stand. It's dark as can be outside. There are bears in your area, which we're now finding somebody got killed in Missouri last week from a bear attack. What's on your hip? What are you carrying for self-defense in the outside chance that you encounter a bear?
A Glock 10 millimeter is on my hip and my rifle.
Nice. Yep, me too. I'm with you. I just wondered about that because I told Dan, I'm going to go deer hunting, maybe even this weekend. It'll be with a bow, but I will be carrying a handgun because now 2 people have been killed by bears in Missouri for the first time since the late 1800s recently.
10 millimeter is a great round for that. Ted Nugent's been talking about the 10 millimeter for years, and I've got a Glock 20 10 millimeter. I've begun carrying that gun a little bit more frequently lately. I carry a full-size handgun on me anyway, for the most part, because I have holsters that accommodate that in today's day and age. It used to be everybody thought self-defense began with a 4 and ended with a 5, right? And we're talking about the 1911s, which is a fantastic gun. I love my 1911. I have one sitting right here in the studio next to me. But in today's day and age, you can carry much more capacity, much more firepower in a much more comfortable holster than the 1911 7+1 or maybe 8+1 if you have an extended magazine. So my recommendation would be a 10 millimeter or a big fat revolver, okay, in 44 plus. So common choices by a lot of people. Wear it in a cross draw across the chest when you're hunting. A lot of friends of mine do that as well. I have a Tika 270 bolt action, which I use when I get out in the deer stand, and I never have any luck anyway. You know how to avoid me over the years.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cox is an Indian word for bad hunter.
45 Kimber with hollow points would probably do the job on a 170-pound bear, though.
You think? A 45?
Oh,
a 45?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it ain't going to stop a grizzly, but it would stop a 180-pound bear. No
They'd probably turn him around, maybe.
Your run-of-the-mill neighborhood black bear, maybe a couple shots. But that 10 millimeter will take down an African, large African game.
It'll take down a rhino.
That's very true.
Hey, guys, can we talk about tree stands for a moment? Let's talk about that tree stand briefly in Palm Beach.
Yeah. What's that all about? At the airport? Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but I have a theory here, and I'd love to bounce this off you. Here's the host and me coming out asking you questions.
That's all right.
But I was talking with my mother about that right before you called. I said, Mom, I got to go. Marc Cox is calling in a minute. So you guys took precedence over my 86-year-old mom, man. You should love that.
You call her back as soon as we're done. You call her back. That's right.
I certainly will. Well, here I have a thought. She asked me about that, and I think that's an interesting question because the reason I believe that was nefarious. Now, I don't know that area around the airport, but I don't believe it's legal to put a tree stand anywhere near any airport property that's within sight or shot of any airplane, let alone Air Force One. But here's where I come down on this. If you're the hunter who put that stand up months ago in anticipation of hunting season, which it is now, and I don't know what the season runs in Florida, but it is where I am. Rifle season began a couple days ago. And it was just an innocent, I was going to hunt. Wouldn't you have come forward and told the FBI, hey, that was mine, right? I didn't, and let them know? And the fact that somebody didn't do that, to me, I'd just like your thoughts on that.
Well, what I read was there's no hunting anywhere in that area. Like you can't discharge a weapon anywhere near there, so there'd be no reason to have a deer stand up there. Like even for bow hunting, I don't think it's allowed in that particular area around West Palm Beach. I don't. That's the article I read. So it has to be nefarious, whatever it was, with line of sight to where the president gets off the airplane. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people do stupid things and make mistakes and don't realize that they're, pilots fly in restricted airspace by accident all the time. I mean, that's always a possibility. There's dumb people everywhere. But with this, if that person did make that mistake, to me, it would be like if it were me, I would have said something and say, hey, I made a mistake. I'll take it down, do whatever you need to do. I would have come forward. But that's just me. Maybe somebody else realized, oh, my gosh, I screwed up, and it scared them, and they ran. But, yeah, it's interesting. The other thing is I question. I know Kash Patel personally. I trust these guys. I would have left it up and surveilled it and seen who came back and forth later in time.
Wow,
now
yeah.
that you know it's there. Yeah. That's all. Now, I'm not going to sit here to question the head of the FBI. They know what they're doing. Who knows? But that cat's out of the bag now, Well, and then we got this Glock issue going on right now. Did you see this?
I did not. What's that?
In
just
California, yeah, right.
with them banning Glocks?
Let me read you the post from the Second Amendment Foundation yesterday, right after I got off the air. Huge news. We have received news that as of November 30th, all Glocks are discontinued except 43, 43X, 48X. All Glocks will be replaced with the new Glock V models. These will have changes that prevent switch conversions at launch. All will be non-MOS, no pricing changes, still working to confirm new information. Now, this post is viral. It's out there. Glock has not confirmed or denied anything, although on their web pages they have said that they are discontinuing a lot of their legacy models. So the question here becomes, did Glock cave in because of the lawsuits, because of the Glock bans, for example, that the guns could be modified with the Glock switch? And if they did, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Did they cave to the left? Because you and I have talked about that before. Don't make any changes to the gun because of the actions of criminals. And if they did do that, what message does this send to the industry and to the lefty anti-gunners? That they can change entire model lines of the most popular guns ever made? This is a fascinating conversation we'll be talking about today for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point. But besides, I mean, people love their Glocks. They love how they operate. You can drop them in mud and pick them up and fire them. I mean, they're utilitarian. If they changed it, the conversation will be, how did you change it and what impact is it going to have over the gun that I've fallen in love with?
And will they admit, if they did change it, that they changed it because of the bans and because of the coverage that this is getting with the Glock switches? And I was talking with A.W.R. Hawkins from Breitbart News last night late, who called me after midnight, still trying to work to confirm this, which is why he hasn't written it yet. And Glock has, as I said, hasn't confirmed or denied anything yet. But he told me, he said, to me, it's a non-story. And he said, I'm going to give you an example. Who cares if they change their models? Ford doesn't make a 1913 Model 150 pickup anymore, or 1923 pickup anymore. Maybe they just changed their models because it was time for a change with new technology and a new design. So there's the other side of the conversation, but the timing here seems really suspect to me.
It does.
Yeah, right on the heels of the California ban.
Well, maybe they saw that coming if 10 or 15 other states were about to do the same thing. That could have had an impact.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Sig, are you paying attention?
Yeah.
Sig, are you paying attention?
That's right. Mark Walters, thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. Remind people when they can listen to Daily Defense.
Yes, Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, Central Time, 3 to 4 p.m., Eastern, 4 to 5 p.m., and Sundays, 8 to 11 p.m., 6 days a week. We're burning up the airwaves, fighting for your right to bear arms.
Outstanding, my friend.
You're awesome, Mark.
Talk to you next week.
All right, love you guys. Have a great day, St. Louis.
You too.
Thank you. Call Mom.
Right now.
I'm doing that now.
All right, we'll see you.
I hate interrupting calls to Mom.
I know.
Come on. I only wish I could call my mom on my birthday.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's right.
Don't take them for granted.
Do
exactly.
not, for sure. All right, coming up, we'll get to Dan's segment. You're going to love this one today. And next hour, who's in studio? Ryan Wiggins. It's Wiggins America. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Hey, things are improving on the roads. We've got both accidents cleared, the one southbound 170 south of 270 and the one southbound 270 really near the Clayton Road overpass. So we're left with the usual volume, but it's fall, so there's plenty of that. Northbound 270 between 55 and Ladue Road, 55 really jamming up around Bayless this morning. We've got eastbound 44 slowing at 270, eastbound 64. Well, first of all, southbound 61 is pretty slow, ramping on to 40. And then we've got slow pockets eastbound all the way through Big Bend. Westbound slowing Hampton out through Hanley. Southbound 270, a lot of volume, especially Page down through Olive. 70 eastbound, slow pockets from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to just past Lindbergh before it looks better. On the Illinois side, westbound 64 is slowing at the 55-70 split. And we've got a lot of volume on northbound Route 3 today. Really, it's from Jerome all the way to the main bridge, the Poplar Street Bridge, as you head in from Illinois. This report is brought to you by Aspen Contracting, roofsbyaspen.com. And don't let cracked or missing siding leave your home vulnerable to St. Louis weather. Aspen Contracting has the crews and project managers ready to protect your home and restore its beauty. Call today for your free siding inspection, 636-465-1696. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Well, if you know that retirement is coming up and you just don't really feel comfortable about the money you have and whether it can make it through retirement, I just like to understand how things work. And that's why financial and tax architects make sense to me, because that's their idea. We're going to teach people how things work in retirement, so you're going to feel better about it just because you understand it. They put on a class called Retirement Planning 101. It's for adults. It's 2.5 hours at a local college. It's free, but you have to register. And they take you through it. Here's how taxes work in retirement. Here's probably when you should take Social Security. And if you'd like, once you kind of understand how things work, you could sit down with them and they will come up with a customized financial plan. Look at all of your stuff, all of your assets, and come up with a written plan for you. That way you can relax a bit about retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101. Start with a class and go from there.
25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis.
Hey, it's Dana Lash. Congratulations to 97.1 FM Talk on 25 years, the station where I got my start. Here's to the next 25 years.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Truth, backbone. Marc Cox on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative. But don't give a f***.
Today on our Truth Bomb Tuesday, we've got a very special segment for all those libs who love to vilify the Jewish people and the so-called genocide against Israel, against Palestine, and they love to call them the occupiers of the Muslim-led Gaza, even though they don't even start the wars. They don't start the skirmishes. They just finish them over in Israel. But clearly those Jew haters don't hold Muslim nations to the same tough standards. Today's social media warrior is providing a long list of Muslim versus Jewish facts and truths that just will show you the steep hypocrisy of those who only attack Israel and they give Muslim nations a free pass. This is a woman. She goes by the name of Magenta on Facebook, and she is unapologetically dropping truth bombs just about every day. She is awesome, a great defender, and really exposing the Muslim faith globally. and how they're promoting a globalist agenda, and they hate the independent attitude of Israel and the United States. So let's hear it from Magenta on this Tuesday morning.
They say Israel was committing genocide, yet the population in Gaza has grown by millions since 1948, and there were 95,000 babies born in Gaza in the last 2 years during the war.
Not genocide.
And in fact, there are 10 real genocides happening right now in Darfur, Sudan, Myanmar, Congo, Tigray, and Nigeria, involving Muslim or Arab forces attacking minorities. They say Israel controls the world, yet there are 57 Muslim-majority countries voting as a bloc at the United Nations. The OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, holds diplomatic global power and condemn Israel constantly. Islamic financial groups like the WIF, World Economic Islamic Forum, are also integrated into the WEF and G20 economies. They say Israel are occupiers. Meanwhile, Turkey occupies northern Cyprus, Morocco occupies Western Sahara, and Pakistan controls parts of Kashmir, yet none of these Islamic countries face comparable international outrage. They say Israel is apartheid, but Arab citizens of Israel vote, serve in parliament, and attend the same universities and hospitals as Jews. Meanwhile, Jews are banned from living in or visiting certain Muslim countries. They say Jews control the media, yet in reality, Qatar's Al Jazeera, Saudi-owned NBC, Turkey's TRT World, and Iran's Press TV reach billions with pro-Islamic narratives across global networks. They say Israel is the cause of all wars. Over 90% of global conflicts have occurred in Asia and Africa, mostly involving internal Muslim-majority disputes. The civil wars in Syria, Yemen, Sudan, and Libya have killed millions, all driven by Muslim factions, not Israel. Whatever you are accusing Jews and their only state of, you are guilty of. Hey world, especially the Muslim world, learn to look into the mirror for once instead of trying to blame the Jews for all of your shortcomings.
Yeah, man, she absolutely nails it there. Her name again, Magenta, just like the color, Magenta. She says on her Facebook page, the seer of the Matrix, helping Jews like it's 1939. I mean, well, of course, the Holocaust is what she's referring to there, because Jews and Christians are being slaughtered all over the world, but no protest on college campuses. It's okay that this is happening because, you know, they're partnering up with the globalist agenda. There's no question the Islamic ideology is in bed with the WEF and some of these globalists, and she just points it out every day. She's got incredible facts and figures, as you saw there. She comes with the facts, comes with the numbers, and you'll never, ever hear those facts on mainstream media, and that's why she is today's truth bomber.
Yeah, she's on Facebook.
She's on X. Yeah, I think she's out on X under the same title, a Magenta Indigena. I can't really pronounce that. But if you just search Magenta, I promise you she's going to pop up. She only, surprisingly, on Facebook, only has like 6.3 thousand followers.
My guess is that's going to go up.
Well, but millions of views. So a lot of people are sharing her factual content. Unfortunately, they're just not finding her on her channels. And but you'll love her. I'm telling you, she's kind of dry. She's not real flary. She's not fancy. She doesn't have great sense of humor, but man, she does her research. Yeah.
Well, it's people need to hear that. They need to hear the truth, particularly with all the haters out there. I was saying earlier, I've got a friend on Facebook who is a never-Trumper, and he was out yesterday celebrating the fact that the ceasefire might have ended. And we know that's not the case this morning. It was a skirmish by a couple of holdouts, it appears. But can you imagine going out and celebrating the failure of a peace plan just because you hate the man who put it together, which would be Donald Trump? That's why.
And what that means for that region can be absolutely game-changing for peace in the world. And let's hope it holds. Let's hope it can get back together. And we're working with a terrorist state. It's going to be hard to keep it together because these radicals just want violence. It's what they live for. So it's going to be a challenge.
I agree. Yeah. Are they changing the crime stats leading up to the midterms in some of these big cities? Absolutely yes, says the DOJ. We'll talk about that in the next hour. Plus, Ryan Wiggins, host of Wiggins America. Back in a minute.
This is my favorite time of the year to finally enjoy our outdoor spaces because it's getting to the point where it's not too hot outside or it's not too cold, but you want an outdoor space that you actually can relax in, right? That's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design, they do basically everything. They could build you a custom deck. Maybe you've been wanting a screened-in porch, a covered patio so that you can enjoy it even when it's raining. You can sit out there and drink your morning coffee, listen to our show. They can do all that for you. They use these durable, low-maintenance materials like, for example, composite decking and aluminum railings, and they're built to last. That's what I really appreciate about them is that they make sure that they use these quality materials. This is a family-owned company, been doing this here in the St. Louis area for close to 30 years. A+ rating from the BBB. Go look at how many 5-star reviews they have. You'll understand why so many people want to partner with the company, Lakeside Renovation and Design. Again, don't just wait until the spring to plan for the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start now with a free consultation. Go to lakesiderd.com.
This special alert is for all Americans who own a vehicle. If you have a warranty that's about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, this message is for you. It's time to stop worrying about future car repairs today. Your vehicle is essential, but unexpected breakdowns can derail your plans and your wallet. It's time to future-proof your ride with CarShield. CarShield offers a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that saves drivers thousands from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine if your engine quits or your transmission fails. You could pay a fraction of the repair cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, and to give you even more peace of mind, drivers who activate today also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Don't wait for a breakdown to drain your savings. Future-proof your car with CarShield today and drive with confidence. Call CarShield for your free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Trying to keep the Trump-brokered deal for Gaza from falling apart. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Vice President Vance has gone to Israel the day after the president said,
"We have a peace in the Middle East for the first time ever."
But he warned Hamas about violating the ceasefire after a flare-up in fighting over the weekend that was deadly for Israelis and Palestinians.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Hamas will be disarmed the easy way by giving up its weapons or the hard way by Israeli forces. Netanyahu says he and Vice President Vance will discuss security challenges and diplomatic opportunities during their visit. Negotiators are looking to move beyond the first phase of the ceasefire. That's where Hamas returned the hostages and Israeli forces pulled back from their positions in Gaza.
Fox's Rich Edson at the White House. Hamas still has only handed over 13 bodies of the 28 dead hostages it's supposed to return. President Trump will have lunch today with Senate Republicans on day 21 of the government shutdown that House Speaker Mike Johnson blames on Democrats.
Because they're playing partisan games.
The speaker just told Fox Business instead of agreeing to a simple funding extension,
they want to spend $1.5 trillion new dollars on all sorts of wasteful programs, including $200 billion to fund health care benefits on the backs of American taxpayers for illegal aliens.
Democrats call that a lie and blame Republicans for the shutdown for refusing to negotiate on their attempt to attach a provision to a funding bill to stave off looming Obamacare subsidy cuts for Americans. A legal victory for President Trump in his push to send National Guard troops into Portland, Oregon to deal with anti-ICE immigration raid protests.
The majority writes that the
president lawfully exercised his authority, which, quote, authorizes the federalization of the National Guard when the president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States.
Fox's David Spunt on the appeals court ruling. Another judge's order, though, is still in place, and it still blocks the deployment of those troops. America's listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Dan Buck. It is 8:03 and 53 degrees. The Boeing Company and the Machinist Union returned to the bargaining table on Monday with two federal mediators. While no settlement to the 78-day strike was reached in that 7-hour negotiation, the two sides have agreed to continue those talks today. St. Louis Public School Board member Ben Conover has submitted his resignation after the abrupt firing of the superintendent last week and then the appointment of Myra Berry as the interim superintendent on Monday. Conover said he had deep concerns over the reckless actions of the board and he could not continue to serve without compromising his values. Missouri Governor Mike Keogh hopes to convince the Trump administration to restore a $197 million federal grant that was going to be used to build a battery component factory in North St. Louis. While the plant would have generated 150 new full-time jobs, the administration says that the huge public grant to an Israeli-owned company would not adequately advance the nation's energy needs, nor would it provide a positive return on investment. In sports, the Fall Classic is set after the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Mariners in dramatic fashion in Game 7 of the ALCS. A 3-run, 7th-inning homer by George Springer gave the Jays a 4-3 win. The World Series Game 1 between L.A. and Toronto will begin on Thursday night. In hockey, the 3-2 Blues get back at it tonight at Enterprise. They'll play host to the L.A. Kings. It is 8:05. We've got 53 degrees. I'm Dan Buck for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, eastbound 70 approaching Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, they had a report of debris, so be careful as you go through there. It was in the right lane. Southbound 61, still a slow go, ramping on to 64, which has moderate volume from out west into Big Bend. 70 eastbound, slow pockets through the O'Fallon area to Jennings Station Road before it opens up. Westbound 64, still a slow go, Hampton out through 170. Southbound 170, some moderate volume at especially the Forest Park Parkway. Southbound 270 is slow from Page down through 64. But it's northbound, of course, with slow pockets 55 on up through Manchester. Northbound 141 jamming at 44. And 55 is definitely jammed, headed for Bayless in the construction zone. On the Illinois side, Route 3, very slow in both directions. A slow-moving train at Monsanto. And some volume westbound 64 at 5570 and on the Poplar Street Bridge. Traffic brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they've been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. From windows and siding to kitchens, baths, and outdoor spaces, they give you quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a little chilly going out the door this morning. Lots of sunshine throughout the day today and a breeze
to even windy at times again from the north-northwest will take control as we go through the afternoon. 66 for the high. Tonight, clear. Kind of cold, 43. In fact, it is cold. Wednesday, sunny, cool, breezy, 64. 43 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny and 66. Got some rain moving in here Friday into Saturday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
53 degrees as you start your Tuesday morning. Don't forget, you can take the Marc Cox Morning Show and all the great shows here on 97.1 with you anytime, anywhere. All you need to do is download that free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, good morning. I guess we can officially welcome fall now, right? I don't know that we're going back up into those 90s again, 80s, 90s. For good mornings in the 50s, evening, afternoons in the 60s, maybe 70. That's nice. I'm kind of ready for it.
Yeah, and getting these leaves to turn a little more because the summer wasn't really letting them turn. Now they're going to start getting a little colder, and you'll start seeing the reds come out, the yellows come out. They're saying there may not be many red this year because of the drought we had late in the year.
We drove to Arkansas over the weekend, and you could see the color change. Not vividly, but certainly probably by next weekend. If the wind and storms didn't blow all those leaves off, it's going to be gorgeous.
I golfed at Missouri Bluffs yesterday. What a gorgeous course to be golfing in the fall with all those views and the wilderness everywhere. There's no adjacent holes, so it's just forest with a golf course cut through it. It's pretty cool.
It is nice. Saw the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life. So many times as I've been hunting, the biggest buck I've ever seen, I saw at the Missouri Bluffs. Just kind of sauntering across the forest from across the cart trail, and it was perfectly safe. He had nothing to be worried about because he's on a golf course. So good for him.
There's a hole. I don't know if it's on 8 or on 7. But, man, there's a lake at the bottom of it that I know has monster bass in it. I'm like, I wonder if I could sneak in here and do any fishing because it's just – you can tell it's deep. You can tell it's loaded. It's got tons of minnows. I walked up to the shoreline. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's just a bass haven. Oh, my gosh.
That's Dan driving around looking for somewhere to fish, and I'm thinking about hunting.
Yeah,
so.
if you got a honey hole, let me know.
That time of year.
That's right.
No doubt about it. All right, well, we're going to get to Ryan Wiggins a little later. Ryan says he's going to tell us about the political earthquake that he believes is about to hit the Democrats and could move the country to the right for the rest of our lives. I don't know how long Ryan's planning to live, but I'm interested in hearing more about that because that's he's a little younger than me. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Got a lot of time. I'm anxious to hear what he's got to say in Wiggins America down here at about 8:35. We'll get to that for you. Right now, though, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
I just happen to think if I were Democrats, I would rather have directed that energy into the campaigns that are going on this year instead of marching around the way they did. But listen, you guys spend your time however you want. It's a free country, not a monarchy.
Not a monarchy. You tell him, Scott Jennings, he is absolutely correct.
Well, the name of No Kings is kind of ridiculous. We don't have a king, as the president said, and if we did, it's not clear that protests like the No Kings rally would be permitted.
That's true. You tell him about that. Britt Hume there on Fox yesterday is like, it's ridiculous. They're protesting the outcome of the most obvious form of our democratic republic, which was the election last November.
Did an ambassador say something bad about it? Don't tell me. Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah.
You said bad? I don't like you either.
He's in the room.
I probably never will. Go ahead.
President Trump having a little bit of fun yesterday with the Australian ambassador, who apparently was bad-mouthing him quite loudly before he got appointed to be ambassador.
Apparently a big social media influencer in Australia, and he gets appointed the Australian embassy head. They're like, why would you do that if you're Australia? Normally you're trying to work on relations with the government you're in. not putting a basher of Donald Trump in that Australian embassy. Is he meet with the prime minister today, or did he meet yesterday?
I think he met yesterday with him, yeah. Very true.
Not at all running away from my responsibility, culpability, and looking forward to prove that, not just to President Trump, but to the American people.
Yeah. Do you recognize that voice, Dan Buck?
No.
George Santos, who had his prison sentence commuted by the president over the weekend, and a lot of people are raising some hell about it. Hannity had him on yesterday, and Hannity was like, listen, you were guilty of putting unauthorized charges on credit cards without people's knowledge, and I know you said that was an RNC card, but the money comes from donations to the party, and you were spending people's money without the permission to do so, and you lied, and you owe people money, and how are you going to make restitution to that? It was a lengthy interview, and Hannity said, I just got to tell you, I've talked to a lot of people about this, and they're even high-ranking Trump donors who are very unhappy with the fact that he commuted your sentence. Trump said it's because of threats to his life. He had to be kept in isolation and couldn't be near the regular prison population, and he was only 50 or 60 days into a 7-year sentence, so he commuted his sentence. That means he didn't pardon him. He just cut short his prison sentence. This was Santos' answer to Sean Hannity last night. Listen.
I think I hear too much obfuscation in your voice. Am I wrong?
No, it's not obfuscation. Like I said, it's been 4 days, Sean. This question was posed to me at the time of release. I'm just going to say this very honestly. I didn't even know the conditions of my commutation. I didn't even know I was getting commuted until I saw it on the chyrons of the TVs in the cafeteria over at FCI Ferriton. So to answer your question, it's something that I've definitely started putting thought into after it was posed to me. Again, I will definitely explore those avenues. It's the right. It's you're not wrong. It is the right thing to do, and it's definitely the godly thing to do. And I will do the best I can and in my best efforts to find a way to do it. And again, not at all running away from my responsibility, culpability, and looking forward to prove that, not just to President Trump, but to the American people.
He's talking about making restitution for people's money who is misused.
Yeah.
I don't know what the dollar amount is. I haven't looked into it.
If it got him 7 years, it had to be pretty significant.
I would think. And they claim that he lied when he ran for office. He lied about his past, and I don't know. I don't. That would be a commutation that I don't understand. I don't know why President Trump would do that out of left field in the middle of everything else that's going on.
Everything else. You think about, and maybe he did it because he knew it would be a distraction. People would get upset about that while he can get things
He's doing something else. He's really good at that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Hey, follow the, the little laser beam, and the cats all follow it over there while something else is. I don't know if that's what he was doing or not.
Look, squirrel. Right. Yeah, exactly.
But that's George Santos. He's a free man. Apparently he's gone back to that business, whatever they call it, where you can record greetings for people. Like birthday greetings. And
who would want a birthday greeting from Santos?
I can't imagine.
I mean, I guess as
Santos
a joke,
Claus
as
or
a joke or something. Maybe, yeah.
Cameos.
That's the name of it.
Yeah. So anyway, there you have it. All right, we're going to get to a quick break. We got Ryan Wiggins coming up. Something that Dan and I talked about earlier, I want to bring it up again, if you missed it, is the firing of Rennie Knott from Channel 5. I really believe that this is something that people need to understand what happened over there.
Because it could happen to you.
It could happen to you, and it sounds more and more like a perfectly good guy got run out of his life's career by a bunch of snowflakes. I got to tell you, we're going to get to that and what we've learned about it when we come back. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looks like an accident 70 near Jennings Station Road and blocking the right center lane westbound. So just take care through there. Eastbound 70 looking better, but still some moderate volume in pockets. Lake St. Louis Boulevard through Lindbergh. We've got some volume eastbound 364 at 270 And eastbound 64, first of all, 61 a little slow, ramping on. And then it's slow out at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And then in pockets from Clarkson through Big Bend, westbound slowing Hampton through Hanley. And southbound 270, mainly moderate volume. From, it looks like Olive now, down through Ladue Road. It's northbound that still has moderate volume between 21 and 64. Northbound 141 jams at 44, even a little north of it as well. And northbound 55 still slowing, headed for Bayless in the construction zone. Volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. And boy, northbound Route 3 is really jammed, headed for the Poplar. This report brought to you by Point with an E Pest Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Annie here, and I can proudly say no more spiders in my home. I use Point Pest Control 4 times a year, and I haven't seen any, not a single one, since they've been in my home. Mention Annie and get 10% on top of any other special. Point Pest Control, 636-798-0023.
All right, let's talk about Zero Res for the month of October. They try to come up with a great special for you every month. And this month, as we head into Halloween next week and all that stuff, you have an opportunity to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $40 off. That's $129 is what you pay. So you're saving some cash there, and you can get 15% off getting your air dryer vent cleaned and your air ducts cleaned. Big deal, right? You may not think about the air ducts so much, but your dryer vent, when's the last time you cleaned it? I'm sure it's a mess because that lint gets caught in there on sharp edges and it can start to build up and it can be a real fire hazard. So let Zero Res take care of it. When they come over to do your other floors, they can take care of that because you can Zero Resify basically everything in your house. Your carpets, your upholstery, any rugs you have, a tile floor can be Zero Resified because they don't use the harsh soaps and chemicals, doesn't leave any of that stuff behind, and it's better for your house. It's better for the environment of your house. All you have to do is call them and tell them you want the 97.1 FM special for the month of October, 314-474-2020. That's 314-474-2020. Go to ZeroResSTL.com. Spell it backward or forward. It spells the same, Zero Res.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So I get the call, and it was this
it wasn't even on January 3rd this happened, on September 15th this happened. It was, did you say this? Did you say anything about a gun? Did you say that you were going to do that? And I'm going, no. I go, was there conversations about guns? I'm sure there were conversations about guns. I don't have a gun, never had a gun, don't want a gun. So I'm not shooting anything or anything like that. I don't know what the context of the conversation was. All I know is you're asking me if I ever say anything about guns.
Yeah, I got a theory. That's Rennie Knott, a former anchor of KSDK on the morning show and former sports director over there, who's out of a job now. The news broke last week, and he was unceremoniously told, don't come in today, and then HR basically asked him a few questions, and no matter what his answer to the question was, the decision had already been made. In too many of these cases, by the time you get called into the HR director's office, there's somebody at your desk boxing your stuff up. And my theory on this is, and I've kind of sort of gotten it confirmed by sources, I'll say, that there are a bunch of snowflakes that fill the newsroom these days over at KSDK, and they just aren't ready for somebody who's old school, who's gregarious, who likes to joke, and it hurt their feelings, got offended somehow by something Rennie said, and without any ability to defend 21 years of great service to that TV station, he was unceremoniously fired. And there was discussion, Dan, in this St. Louis Magazine article, he was being groomed to take over for Mike Bush.
Yeah, I don't know how this stays out of court, because at no point does he get to face his accuser, or the accuser has to come forward in a he said, she said, and I'm not saying it was a woman, but that you don't have a chance to say, this was the context of that conversation, that was misconstrued or misunderstood, or sorry, your feelings were hurt. Right. But I just don't see how you have zero ability to defend or even know the full allegation. He doesn't really know the full extent of what he said.
No.
Or to whom he said it to, that was the offender. And now you're saying, well, is that to protect the whistleblower, or so to speak, in the newsroom? It doesn't matter. This is somebody's life.
Yeah, he was
They
asked,
still in America should have the right to defend yourself.
He was asked not to come in October 9th. He was asked to instead join a human resources representative on a FaceTime call, which you heard him describing there. He was asked about supposedly comments he'd made about violence and guns, including one alleged comment about getting his AK-47. He insists he never talked about guns in any context other than a journalistic one, and he doesn't own any guns, so it'd be kind of hard for him to do. Was also asked whether he made comments about wanting to kick co-workers' rear ends, I'm using the nice word there, which he characterized as normal joking around that no one had ever complained to him about before, to his knowledge. But the station was apparently unpersuaded. Several of Knott's former colleagues had become concerned in recent months, saying he seemed to be under stress and increasingly agitated. Find somebody these days that's not increasingly agitated. They were worried that his comments suggested trouble, and they resisted the idea of not returning to the newsroom.
That's just, and again, it must have been more than one, because I can't imagine them saying that this was a one and done. They must have had numerous people conspiring here together to make this change. I'm
6 days after the station's initial inquiry on October 15th, Knott says he was summoned to another call. This one lasted just a few minutes. He was told the station's corporate owner, Tegna, had a zero-tolerance policy. For what? It doesn't say. He was asked to resign. He said, in 21 years, I've never had a bad review. They've all been exemplary. I've never had any complaints. Nothing like that ever brought up against me in 21 years. There have to be one or two screaming libs in that newsroom who decided that they didn't like Knott, or that
their feelings might have gotten hurt.
He didn't share their worldview, or he said something that might have offended them.
Yes, they may have gotten bruised.
And because of that,
emotionally hurt.
This man has lost his career. He says that he's been sleeping badly, and he's lost 10 pounds since this all happened.
Oh, it's the day we live in,
well,
unfortunately.
I
think everybody who hears this story needs to just, have the alert up. I mean, certainly makes the workplace be so fragile where you can't really have relationships. You and I grew up in the newsrooms, right? And I mean, for 25 years, it was a place of great humor, funny people, and sometimes the way we dealt with our stress and the strain and the pressure of what we did, and including some of the horrific stories we were forced to have to cover. I mean, I can't tell you the number of dead bodies that I've seen in my time working in news. And to cope with that, sometimes you had to use humor to get through it. Today, those comments, I think back to some things I may have said could have gotten me fired today.
In today's environment.
It's just because, you use all kinds of mechanisms for coping, right? Whether it's humor, whether it's, funny, just funny situations or scenarios to lighten the load. Because if you took everything so serious all the time, that job would destroy you.
These kids would never have existed in a 1988 newsroom. 1990, it just wouldn't happen. You needed to have thicker skin when being told how to do your job or what you did wrong or that sort of thing. They can't do that anymore. No. And talk about political correctness. I defended Kevin Steincross when he got fired. I didn't think he ever deserved to be fired.
No.
And I mean, he's still around in the community, but his journalism career was ended over a simple mistake that anybody could make. And he had no history at all of ever saying anything like that. But the PC crowd, in that case the NAACP, demanded that he be fired. So here we go again. Rennie, sorry for what you're going through, my friend. I really am.
We're thinking of you.
Coming up, we're going to get to our friend Ryan Wiggins, who says there is an earthquake happening for Democrats, and it could change everything. We'll talk to him when we get back.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Let's talk Grasser Electric for just a minute. Talked to my friend Shane Grasser just last week, and it's a great company. They've been around 50 years. They're celebrating their 50th birthday, and here we are. We're youngsters. We're 25. He's been at it for a long time, and I tell you, almost from the day this place went on the air, Grasser Electric has been a great supporter, and we appreciate that. So if you need electrical work done, from a light switch to rewiring your entire house, maybe you're redoing the basement, whatever the case is, call Grasser. Let them send somebody out there. I've used them. My kids have used them. I've referred them to dozens and dozens of people over the years who need a good electrician they can depend on, because in many cases you don't need an electrician until you really need an electrician. You need to have this number in your phone, 636-441-5200. That's 636-441-5200. Online anytime at grasserelectric.com.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Airbnb said it is adding new social features that allows users to opt in to direct messaging with other guests attending experiences. Users need to opt in to the social features for each experience they attend. Amazon.com said its cloud services have returned to normal operations after an internet outage that caused global turmoil among thousands of sites, including some of the web's most popular, like Snapchat and Reddit. AWS hosts applications and computer processes for companies around the world. OVH Cloud, Europe's largest cloud provider, has announced that French-Polish founder Octave Klaba has returned as CEO effective immediately after the board decided to merge the chairman and CEO roles. The move coincides with the company surpassing nearly $1.2 billion in annual revenue for the very first time. Futures are slightly lower. Monday, the Dow Industrials gained 515, the NASDAQ up 310. That's your money now.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Couple of issues on the roads reported. Eastbound 370, accident east of the Discovery Bridge. Watch for that in the right lane. There was also an accident westbound 70 at Jennings Station Road. That one in the center lane. And a stall reported westbound 70 past Tucker. That one in the right lane. Northbound 141 jamming at 44. Northbound 270 slow pockets 21 through Ladue Road. We've got heavy traffic on the Illinois side, especially on northbound Route 3, headed for the Poplar. And westbound traffic on the Poplar Street Bridge is a slow go. And it's just mainly for the length of the bridge. Northbound 55 on the Missouri side. That is slowing still as you head toward the construction zone at Bayless. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Simply the finest when it comes to mirror glass and shower doors. You can't find better quality, prices, or service than at Barron Mirror Glass and Door. They have the basics all the way up to the elite. Barron Mirror Glass and Door can't be beat. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Retirement is not something that you can take lightly, right? You save and you save and you think, okay, is this enough? The only way you can know is to have a professional sit down with you, explain how retirement and money works, and then look at what you've got to see if it's going to be enough and what you need to tweak. Well, here's how you deal with taxes in retirement. This is how it works. Here's how you deal with Social Security and when to take it. Here are some tax ideas. This is the sort of thing you need help with. That's why I like Financial and Tax Architects. And they put on a class called Retirement Planning 101, where they go over a lot of this stuff with adults. It's a 2.5-hour class. It's held at colleges throughout the area. So do yourself a favor and go to one of these. Kind of get a handle on how things work. You can go online and register. F as in Frank, FTA-RIA.com. FTA-RIA.com, and start to just get a handle on your understanding of retirement.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
No need to get technical on heating and cooling. We all want our houses to cool, correct? When it's heating season, we want them to heat, correct? There's not much more to it than that, but I can give you some pointers and tips on the efficiencies, meaning the efficiencies of your house. What you can do to make your house more efficient, and then deciding on what system to purchase, therefore maximizing every single dollar you spent for a furnace and air conditioner. Not spending maximum dollars on a furnace and air conditioner because you're told of an efficiency rating, and that's it. So again, a common sense approach. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, the only number, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins. All right, that was Harry Enton from CNN. That guy brings more truth than they'd like over there through his polls sometimes. Because it's not, I heard a report this morning that a reporter pointed out that Trump's handling this different, Ryan. He's not intentionally shutting down the outdoor World War II memorial in D.C. Like Obama did during the government shutdown, just to try to make it painful for people.
Yeah, he's actually trying to make it as painless as he can for the average citizen. Now, he's cutting the size of government as much as he can in the process, but that's also for the average citizen. Nobody wants it when it comes to their programs, but, it's got to be the fat's got to be trimmed somewhere, and so he's using this as an opportunity. But Harry Enton is amazing. I think that guy is genuinely just a guy who loves numbers. Because he does kind of give you both sides. We hear the side that kind of promotes Trump a little bit more. I think that's, in my algorithm, that's what I see a little bit more. But he does both sides. But when he gives you those numbers, he's just excited to give you the numbers. And a lot of them right now, because those numbers do benefit Donald Trump and the GOP, you're seeing a lot of good news come from him on CNN. So you want to hear about the political earthquake that's about to happen? The
political earthquake that you say could cement us with a right-wing majority for a long time.
I would say a generation. I mean, it's that big.
Wow.
If all these things happen, now it doesn't mean all of them have to happen, but if any part of this happens, it's going to move the country rightward. There are 4 things that are happening right now that are going to affect mainly the House of Representatives, and one of them, as you know, is redistricting. That's currently underway. That's something that is not usually done in the middle of a decade like it is, but we had some bold governors, including the governor of this state, that are saying, no, it's about time we caught up to what Democrats are doing. And you know that Democrats have been doing it better than Republicans for a long time, because right now, if everybody maxed out, if every state that is available to gerrymander further, because some states are split, they won't do anything. But the ones that are, if they all max out, the GOP would gain 7 seats right there, just by redrawing the maps. Now, Democrats would gain a few there, but overall, the net gain would be about 7 seats if everybody maxed out their gerrymander, their redistricting. So,
keep our fingers crossed.
So that's actually currently underway. I mean, that's not hypothetical. That's happening. We just don't know how far it's going to go and which states are going to do it. So there's +7 if they all do it. Now, the Voting Rights Act is underway at the Supreme Court. The oral arguments were last week. I'm sure you've been paying attention to that, too.
We played some of the sound on it. The arguments are unbelievable. Sotomayor got her lunch eaten by this DOJ attorney who pointed out the difference there's no difference between this and if it was a district where white Democrats could not get elected. You would never redraw that district to guarantee a white Democrat or white Republican would get elected. Therefore, you have to apply the same principle.
Yeah, it's race-based districting.
Correct.
And that's been going on for a long time. And I hate to break it to you, it's actually not news that Sotomayor had her lunch handed to her, because that happens pretty much every time.
Yeah.
But that right there, if they completely gut that, and we don't know exactly if they're going to completely eliminate the voting rights, the Article 2 of that has to do with race, or they're going to change it. But if they do get rid of it, Harry Enton, who you just played, said that would net an additional 10 to 15 seats for the GOP nationwide. That's right there. You're talking about a good 25 seats just with those two things that are currently happening. Not hypothetical. That's actually happening right now. So you want to get hypothetical? Here's some other things that could happen real soon, and one of them for sure will be happening. That's the census. Now, we don't know whether that Donald Trump is going to do this. He's kind of hinted that he would like to do it before 2030, but we don't know. He hasn't pushed it real hard. But let's say even that he doesn't. By 2030, the census alone, because of population shifts, will net the GOP another 6 seats in the House.
Wow.
Now, here's what's important about that one, because the other two don't do this. The census, however, will not only net the GOP 6 House seats in addition to those others, but it will also net 6 electoral college votes because that's actual population moves. So that's even bigger deal than the other two.
And isn't part of that reform also not counting the illegals in the census?
You got to my very last one.
Was it? Okay, because I was like, no,
I
I think that's even another step in the census.
That's exactly right. So that's the fourth point of my 4 here, is that if illegals are determined to be not counted in the census,
Nor should they.
Yeah. And everybody who looks at this case goes, well, duh, why would you count illegal aliens in the census? And they go, well, it's the language with which it's written. So that's going to be the key is does the language allow for the Supreme Court to remove it? Because practically speaking, it's really hard to make the argument that you would keep illegal aliens in.
Right. It makes no sense, but to them it's all about population.
Yeah.
If they can make the population of a California city an extra 100,000 because of the illegals that are however many are there, then they get an additional congressional seat.
But
right?
Ryan,
they're going to lose congressional seats if that gets changed, and they're not counting illegals.
Absolutely. Well, think about what Ryan just said, though, is if you eliminate, because where are all of the illegal immigrants currently? They're in sanctuary cities. They are in Democratic strongholds.
Yep.
And
L.A.
To potentially 10 to 15 million would probably fall into that category of being currently counted in the census. And if those are removed, we're talking those congressional districts shrink or expand, which is going to bring in more of the suburban Republican voters. I mean, I just think instantly that makes a huge swing. Do you have an estimate of how many seats that could impact?
I do. It's actually the biggest of any of them.
Wow.
Harry Enton on CNN confirmed this too. He said it's between 20 and 30 seats.
No wonder they wanted him here so bad.
Stephen Miller has said this too, 20 to 30 seats that would shift most likely rightward to the GOP. Wow. Away from these states. And that one, again, that's another one that it's not just House seats. You're talking about electoral college votes there, too, because you're removing population. You're removing those that number from those blue states, majority, not entirely blue states, but mostly.
So conservatively, taking the lowest, when you say a range of 20 to 30, taking the lowest number when you add all those up, if they all happened, what's the lowest net gain Republicans will get out of it?
So if they all happen, I'm going to say conservatively, you get about 30 seats added to the GOP, and it could be much higher than that, of course.
Right.
But that's the kind of low end number that you're dealing with there.
It's amazing.
Well, now you're getting up to 60%. Now they can't filibuster.
Well,
right?
I mean, Senate, but you still got to win the Senate. That wouldn't change.
Yeah, so it wouldn't change the Senate a whole lot.
Right.
But it would change the House, and here's why I think this is so important, because it's not just, the Republicans would control the House of Representatives. And I'm talking, again, this is generational. That's a lot of seats to overcome. You'd have to take the political center. Democrats would have to do this, and they might be talking about doing this now because some of this is already happening. You'd have to take the political center and start to move it rightward. And that is really how things change in a society, because Democrats have been pushing left for a long time. The far left still controls that party even as we speak.
Right.
But they would have to give up control to ever see a chance of controlling a chamber of Congress again. And that is where you really start to see cultural change and things change. And that's why this is exciting to me, because the whole center would have to move right once this all takes place. It's a big, big deal.
I hope even a portion of it comes true.
And
that's a big deal.
I could really see a major shift, too, along racial lines. I think black voters are waking up. I just see it. And am on a lot of feeds, and I am, liking a lot of these Minority Monday segment, but it just seems like you're seeing more and more people saying, I'm done. The Democratic Party no longer represents me, or they're seeing through all the lies for decades that have held the black community down. And we're just seeing, I think it's going to be the biggest shift in 26 is we're going to go from, the 12, 13% voting for Republicans to being well in the 20s.
I hope you're right.
I do. I think
Ryan,
it's happening.
Can you hang around?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Ryan Wiggins in studio with us. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got an accident westbound 70 at Jennings Station Road, and they've blocked the two right lanes. It started in the right center lane, and now the two right lanes are blocked, and traffic is jammed behind it. Traffic is also jammed behind an accident eastbound 370 just east of the Discovery Bridge, and that's caused a delay. Now, other than that, we're the usual volume on northbound 270, and that's thinning out, but it does stretch from Gravois up through Ladue Road. Eastbound 64, a little slow out at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Most of the volume is east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. And watch for westbound traffic to be really slow on Olive, just west of 270. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
All right, just checking the calendar here. It shows me it's the 21st, which means you got plenty of time before Halloween to lock in your Rhino Shield job and guarantee 2025 pricing. There's a chance things go up in 2026. Lock it in now. Call Darren and let him come out and give you a free evaluation of what it would take to coat your house in this great ceramic coating. It just forms a ceramic shield on whatever's on the outside of your house. If you've got stucco, if you've got unpainted brick or even painted brick, you've got aluminum or steel, they put this on 2 to 3 coat process. It hardens, it protects, it rejects 100% of the water and 90% of the sun's rays. Those are the things that destroy regular, thin, old paint. You pick the colors you want. They remain beautiful because this is so durable. It's a beautifully durable product, and you're going to love it. Go to HGTV. They've highlighted it a couple of times on there because it works. It does against the harshest elements, and you know we've got some of those coming this winter. Here's the number. Call Darren today. Tell him you want to get your evaluation before Halloween and get locked in. 877-25-RHINO. Or go online to their website. It's 877-25rhino.com.
This Thursday, stop by Bobby's in Maryville for a boolicious bash with 30 candy-filled trunks and prizes galore, all supporting Maryville's Cops and Kids Christmas. So have your costume ready for Thursday and learn more at 971talk.com/events.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and
have a banner day.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Cutting through the spin. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about the Democrats who are getting people excited. Like Bernie Sanders gets people excited. He's a Democratic socialist. Okay, AOC.
He's an independent.
AOC, she's a Democratic socialist. Zorhan Mamdani, Democratic socialist. Yeah, doesn't that say that there are fundamental needs of the working class in America that are not being addressed by either party?
Stephen Colbert, you'll not be surprised, who's a hard leftist, with Karine Jean-Pierre on last night. Now, the Democratic Party hasn't gone far enough left for Karine Jean-Pierre, the greatest liar in the history of America, as press secretary, lying about Biden. And she left the White House and then left her own party and claims she's an independent now because they're not they're not protecting people like her. I'm sorry, you were the press secretary for the President of the United States, a black lesbian, but that's not good enough for you. I don't know what it is she thinks the Democratic Party is not doing enough to protect her, but there's an interesting article in The Hill today that draws this parallel. It says this government shutdown is a picture of a bigger dilemma facing the Democrat Party. Locked out of power, lacking a unifying standard bearer, and struggling with historically low approval ratings, Democrats face a number of strategic challenges. At the heart of it is an inability to articulate their own path forward, as they are steadfast in opposing anything Donald Trump wants, but they can't communicate their own alternative. And I think they're absolutely right.
Yeah.
58% blamed Trump and the Republicans for the shutdown in an AP poll, but 54% also blamed Democrats. And the author here is making the point is that's not a big enough gap for them to claim a win in this. Even if in the end the majority of people want to blame the Republicans, 54% want to blame the Democrats.
The base of that party they just keep going further and further left. And the trouble is those are the people that are going to show up the most on Election Day for Democrats.
Right.
So they don't really know what to do to go, look, you guys want actual communism. The majority of the country doesn't want that, but we need you guys to kind of show up. So they're really caught between going, should we pander to them or should we kind of go back to the middle? They don't know what to do.
You know, people always are talking about TDS, right? We see it on display. We talk about the symptoms, but I think we got to start talking about what's the cause of it.
Yeah.
It's the cause is that this president is kind of erasing their 3 decades of work, right? All the stuff that they worked 3 decades to, he's dismantling it. Right, all the things they were trying to disrupt and derail, and they were trying to divide and destroy us. Suddenly, you've got a president who's just unraveling all that work. That's what's causing them to lose their mind, is that they no longer have all the control on all of these things, from education to the socialist workforce, agendas that they were pushing. He's blocking everything.
They don't have directors in Health and Human Services wearing skirts.
Right.
Men wearing skirts.
And the whole DEI that he has completely unraveled. And that's John, whatever her name is,
Corinne.
Yeah, she just
KGP.
absolutely recognizes what's happening. She's got somebody like Caroline Leavitt who's just showing the world what a press secretary is supposed to do.
That's right.
And how she's supposed to do it. And she hates that it's a pretty, blonde, smart, conservative woman. Straight, by the way, with children.
Yes.
That's like deplorable to her, right? So it's like they're becoming just unraveled.
Before we run out of time here, I know, Dan, you got a message on your phone earlier that you were very happy with. Somebody's singing happy birthday to you?
Yeah, my daughter.
I think we got one for you here as
What's
well.
that?
Wait.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
If it's good enough for RFK,
Maryland,
for JFK,
from the tomb,
from Marilyn Monroe, it's good enough for you, Dan Buck.
Exactly.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Awesome, man. I'm going to go out and enjoy this beautiful day.
Please do. Ryan, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great having you in. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll get to the Kilmeade Show. Stay tuned for Annie and Mark later today. We're back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. We'll see you then.
You've got your whole life ahead of you.